Tonight in Freedom Bowl 2, it's the Colorado Buffaloes who really turned it around in 1985. After finishing 1-10 last year, Coach Bill McCartney switched to the wishbone, and the Buffaloes finished 9th in the nation in rushing and improved to 7-4. They meet the Washington Huskies of the Pac-10, playing in their 7th consecutive bowl game under head coach Don James. Picked number 1 in the preseason, injuries slowed the Huskies early in the year, but they finished strongly with wins over SC and UCLA. The Laura Mar Sports Network presents the 2nd annual Freedom Bowl from Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California. Tonight's game is being brought to you by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. By today's Chevrolet, who invites you to live the style, performance, and fun of Chevrolet in '86. And by Nescafe Custom Blends. Well, this is probably the only place in the country you can make this statement tonight. Clear skies, temperatures in the high 60s, perfect weather for football. And this, the 2nd annual Freedom Bowl game. Colorado comes south to play the Washington Huskies in Anaheim. Hello, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins. Welcome to what should be a most interesting football game. Colorado 7-4, Washington 6-5, but a team beset by injuries. Well, it's a pleasure to share these Laura Mar microphones with the new head football coach at Notre Dame University, Lou Holtz. Lou, welcome.
Barry, thank you. I'm proud to be the football coach at Notre Dame, and I'm very happy to be here with you tonight.
We were talking about another football coach last night, Don James, the coach of the Washington Huskies. 7 years in a row, he's put a team into a bowl game. And your comment to me last night was this guy can prepare a team for a game on a night better than anybody around.
Don can do a great job with any football team, but he's particularly effective in a bowl game. He beat Oklahoma last year in the Orange Bowl in a tremendous upset. He also has upset Michigan in the Rose Bowl, Maryland in the Aloha Bowl. They were picked to be number 1 Washington this year by Sporting News before the season began. They did beat Southern Cal. They did beat UCLA, which will participate in the Rose Bowl. They did beat California and Stanford, but they were a little bit inconsistent. On the other hand, you have Colorado, a team that went from 1-10 to 7-4. Coach McCartney was named Coach of the Year by the Sporting News for his efforts this year. He's got a fine football team. He went from a pro set to a wishbone, and he enabled people like Ron Brown to cut 39 passes last year, to give up his individual honors and become a running back and a blocking back. So it's 2 great coaches that have really done a fine job.
And of course, Colorado presents a very different look. They will show you the wishbone. Washington hasn't seen that since last year in the Orange Bowl, and then they won. Well, we got a lot of people to talk about this football game tonight. It's not only Lou and I up here in the booth. Down on the field, we have our own Jeff Witcher. Jeff?
Well, thank you very much, Barry. And both Colorado and Washington very excited about being participants in this, the 2nd annual Freedom Bowl from Anaheim, California. I had a chance to visit with head coach Bill McCartney of Colorado, ask him about his offense, some of their key players, and their defense.
Well, of course, we run the wishbone attack, and the wishbone revolves around our quarterback, Mark Hatcher. He's healthy for the first time in weeks. He's a young, exciting player. He's got very quick feet, great speed, and a strong throwing arm. Anthony Weatherspoon is our fullback, and he alternates there with Eric McCarty, 2 big, strong, physical kids. I think a guy you want to watch defensively for us is Dan McMillan, the most valuable player on our team, and our outside linebacker. He's 6'5", 235. He's extremely quick, and our ability to get him around their quarterback is going to tell a large part of the story today, whether or not we can get the kind of pressure on him that we need. Barry Remington, our linebacker, is really our leader on defense. He's captain as an underclassman. He's a real high-caliber kid and a guy that you'll find around the football a lot.
Bill McCartney, the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. I also had a chance to visit with Don James, a head coach at Washington. I asked him about his offense, some of his star players, and what they'll do defensively.
Well, our offense kind of got changed a little bit this year with the injury to Rick Finney. We've gone from an pro set to a T set. We're going to try and incorporate a little bit of both. We're going to run some T, we're going to run some option, we're going to get back to the I and some split backs. Alonzo Hill has probably been the more spectacular player. He gets his hands on the ball, and he's been able to do something with it. Chris Chandler will be the quarterback, and we're hopeful that he can have a good day. Well, on defense, I'd say Joe Kelly probably. Reggie Rogers, defensive lineman. Joe's a linebacker. Vesty Jackson's a cornerback. It's a new offense for us. We haven't seen it. It's hard to practice against it. We've got a scheme to cover up their tackles with big tackles, and we've got a scheme to cover up their guards. And we'll alternate both and try to do some shifting and see what works.
Washington's fine head coach, Don James. And although Colorado's Wishbone is a tremendous offensive weapon, both clubs have great defenses, and I look for a defensive struggle in this one. Now let's go back upstairs to Barry Tompkins and Lou Holtz.
Okay, thank you very much, Jeff. Let's talk about the defenses, Coach. These two teams are very dissimilar on the offensive side of the football, but defensively they show a lot of the same characteristics. They will both get up in your face and get after it.
Well, you win a bowl game just like you won the games that got you here. You win it with defense, kicking game, and emotion. Both teams have a great defense. Don James always had a reputation of being a great defensive coach when he was an assistant at Florida State, at Colorado, and the University of Michigan. Coach McCartney was the defense coordinator at University of Michigan. We all know they play great defense. Motivation, I don't think it favors either side. Some people say Colorado will have more motivation. I don't agree with that. Once they turn on the lights, put the crowd in the stands, the TV lights, and the band starts playing, you want to win this game. This is the most important game to them of the entire bowl season. It ought to be a great football game. I'm delighted to be here. The team that controls the line of scrimmage, makes the fewest number of turnovers, I think will win the game.
Motivation, I think, an interesting point here, Coach. The fact is, the motivation for Washington may be that this is the first game in 1986. For Colorado, it may be the last game of 1985 and the start of something big with their program. We'll be back with a coin toss right after this commercial word. Don't go away. Bowl. We are at Anaheim Stadium, and let's get down now to the center of the football field and the referee Paul Schmidt, who is about to have the coin toss with the opposing captains. Snoopy, not one of the opposing captains, I don't believe. Oh, he's still got a few years of eligibility left.
The players had a great time out here.
It's Captain Mellon, Captain Soda, Captain Kelly, Captain Jackson. Shake hands, huh? My fellow officials besides Captain Snoopy, Captain Mickey Mouse, Mr. Presgrove, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Taylor, Mr. Ruda, Mr. Pitkin, Mr. Bernard. Mickey Mouse, do you have the coin? Captain Remington, that's heads, that's tails. Call it. If I drop, I'll flip again. Would you call it now?
Tails.
You said tails? Then it is heads. You won the toss.
We'll defer. We will defer.
You want to defer to the second half? I'll take the second half. Deferment. Captain, you have your option to kick, receive, or defend the goal.
No, I'll receive.
You want to receive?
Defend that goal.
When you defend that goal, would you please turn around? Colorado will be receiving.
So an awful lot of emotion. Incidentally, that coin toss, very special event in its own way, because brand new United States Liberty silver dollar coins were used. They were made by the U.S. Mint. They, of course, commemorate the Statue of Liberty centennial for next year. It'll be available to the public all next year. That is in 1986. Well, the Washington Huskies won the coin toss and elected to defend a goal. Do you defend that decision, Coach?
Well, the team that kicks off will score first on the average of 75% of the time. So if that statistic holds true, you have a greater chance to score initially in the football game if you kick off than if you receive. That is probably why Washington deferred their kickoff decision to the second half. I personally would rather receive the second half because then your players will settle down. There's less chance of a turnover.
So it'll be Colorado who will be on the receiving end. Jeff Jager will kick it off for Washington. Don't ever be surprised at all kinds of hanky-panky by Coach Don James. He likes to surprise you early in a football game.
Well, the kicking game is always very instrumental, Barry, and both these teams possess outstanding kicking games.
It'll be Loy Alexander and JoJo Collins, the deep men for Colorado.
I wouldn't be be surprised to see an onside kick before this game's over.
Would not surprise me a bit. Jaeger comes forward, end-over-end kick, long kick this time, drives Collins into the end zone. He won't try it. So Colorado will start things now from the 20-yard line. They are, as Coach Don James discussed with us last night, not only a wishbone team, Coach, but a vanilla wishbone team, if you will.
Well, they'll probably do a few things differently tonight, but they have run the football 87% on first down, and only 12 times this entire year have they faced 3rd and 6 or more.
So there's the wishbone set. Mark Hatcher, you saw those numbers, 16 of 51. That's not for a game, folks. That's for the season. Now they shift, and they bring one of their running backs up, split outside. This is Hatcher. Pitch back this time goes to Smith, and Smith goes nowhere.
Very well defended there, Barry. They did have Hatcher wide open deep downfield had they thrown a halfback pass, but very well defended by Washington. They're a great defensive football team.
Ron Miles makes the stop. Here's the way Colorado lines up offensively. Hatcher, as you mentioned, a former receiver, was a running back at one time also. Witherspoon and Brown. Smith. And then, of course, their offensive line. And that's really what makes them go. We'll talk more about their offensive line as this game goes on. Second down now and 12. Hatcher, the quarterback. This time the second option, trying to get outside of Smith. He gets a little bit of room for the 20. And is knocked out of bounds at about the 22-yard line by Vesti Jackson.
Very fine execution of the wishbone there. There it was at the optimum. The last individual had a chance to make the tackle and really did a great job in making it.
Look at the Washington defensive line. Andy Fuimaono, who has played about 5 different positions in his career with the Huskies. And Reggie Rogers, we will talk more about him also. Outstanding player. Very mobile linebackers. And that, of course, is a key to defending the wishbone as well. The secondary, Vesti Jackson, probably their best. Zachary very young at the free safety spot. Now they shift once more, leaving just 2 setbacks. And this time Hatcher will go up with it. Has a lot of time, throws, and almost intercepted. Joe Kelly got a hand on the ball, and we got a flag down.
I think we're going to find that Washington jumped offside. They did not have the opportunity to get back. I believe it was Jim Matthews that jumped offside there. 3rd down and 8 is not the situation you wish to be in when you're a wishbone football team.
Well, they got a little better now. It'll be 3rd down and 3 as that offside penalty. You look at Don James on the sidelines, and he's pretty impassive on the sidelines.
Well, he has great composure.
Both sides, defense, replay 3rd down.
He has great composure, and his football team usually reflects the composure of the head coach on the sideline, and I've always admired an individual can remain calm there.
So it'll be 3rd down, a short 3 here as Ferrando goes to the near side. It is Witherspoon, the fullback. Hatcher is the quarterback. And this time Hatcher keeps and will not get it. So once more, the defense led by Andy Fuimaono from his left tackle spot for the Washington Huskies. And so Colorado will have to give it up.
Here you're going to see the penetration cut from the backside at the last second. Washington overshifted their defense to the tight end side. Great play there. Cut Hatcher from behind just as he's getting ready to make a break.
Fuimaono from South San Francisco, as we mentioned earlier, he's played fullback, he's played offensive guard, he's been a nose tackle, and now a defensive tackle. So he's been around. Ron Miles, the deep man now, waiting to receive this punt. Huskies came after that one, and it's a low kick that Miles will handle at the 30. So it's back and gets about 2 to the 32-yard line. Gang tackle that time. 43-yard punt. And a very good punt as Solomon Wilcots made the stop.
Last year, Colorado was last in the country in net punting. This year, they are first. Their punt coverage has been absolutely excellent. Their punter has really done a great job. He's one of the All-Americans. We've had approximately 5 All-Americans participate in this game in only its 2nd year.
Barry Helton was the punter, and a good one. It was his average. Chris Chandler, and you can see the numbers that he's compiled. He's only started 2 games. Coming on for Hugh Millen. And they will go up right away. Big rush here. A little outlet pass this time for Weathersby, and Weathersby gets to about the 33. It'll be a gain of a yard, not much more than that.
They got very good pressure on the passer. It was a screen, either throw the ball to the tight end over the middle or dump the ball off on the screen. And the penetration by the defensive line there, I believe it was Fairbanks, just fouled up the timing of the screen and enabled the linebackers to react positively to it.
We look at the Washington offensive line. A moment ago we saw their backfield. Covington starting ahead of Rick Finney, incidentally. We'll talk a little bit more about that. That was Covington. And he gets about a yard, not much more than that. Going to be 3rd and 8.
When the football game starts out, Barry, you never really can get an idea who's going to win the game because the momentum goes back and forth. But the team that controls the line of scrimmage and establishes a running game has a better chance to win. Thus far, Washington nor Colorado has been able to establish anything in the offensive line.
3 wideouts in the ball game now for the Huskies. As to the near side comes Lonzel Hill. He's the big play guy. In the slot, it's Trimble, slotted inside of Franklin on 3rd and long. Trimble in motion. Straight back to pass Chandler. Has time, has a lot of time. Now he runs out of time, throws, and it is intercepted. No, he was out of bounds, did not have possession before he went out of bounds. The man closest to the football, number 36, Connolly Smith.
They faked a blitz here, and then they dropped off into pass coverage. Washington's running an awful lot of motion trying to confuse Colorado, but the coverage is just outstanding.
And Smith couldn't quite hang on. So on to do the punting now for the Washington Huskies will be Thane Cleland. Cleland, a 38-yard average. He has had a couple of key punts blocked, and that's something to keep in mind. And that one is almost blocked, but Cleland gets it away pretty well. End over end kick. And it is handled here by Collins. Collins starts back, nothing doing. He'll be stopped at the 25. 37-yard punt, loss of 2 on the return. And so far, this one pretty much as advertised, a defensive struggle. No score, first period, and we'll be back right after this. Barry Tompkins, Lou Holtz, and Jeff Witcher. You get a beautiful look at Anaheim Stadium from on high from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia. And their fine pilot, Tom Mattis, takes his home right down the road at Laguna Beach, California. No score here. We are just about 3 minutes into the first period. Neither team able to move the ball. No first downs in the game. Very evenly matched game so far. Kind of a sparring session so far. First down now, and the pitch back right at the last minute. And a fine gain by Smith as he gets it close to a first down. A gain of about 8 yards.
Well, it was very well executed play there. Sam Smith is a 6'2", 205-pound sophomore that really has outstanding speed. He's a very strong individual, 3-sport athlete. Picked up 10 yards. They're going to have to measure, Barry. Here you see a replay of it. Makes a nice cut back on the inside, beats the safety man. The pursuit keeps him from going all the way.
Tony Zachary is going to be a key player for Washington, a redshirt freshman, and he is getting a start at free safety ahead of Tim Peoples, who is normally entrenched in that position, but he is back home in Seattle, did not even make the trip. He has to make some grades up, wants to stay in school, and of course wants to be eligible for next year. It was a tough decision for Don James, and as you see, that decision about 4 inches short.
When you're coaching, you sort of wish that they got it rather than have 2nd and 4 inches, because the chances of stopping them 2 downs are a little bit difficult. I can't think of a tougher offense for a free safety to break into than against the wishbone. He's going to have to make an awful lot of plays.
Well, we talk about the fact they only put the ball up 51 times, did the Buffaloes, but they ran it pretty well, Lou.
Well, they went from next to last in the country in rushing offense a year ago to 9th, according to the statistic you just saw. Their offensive line comes off the ball very well. Illy is a second-team All-Big 8 football player. Coyle, their center, also is a second-team All-Big 8. They're very talented. Their fullback is their key in this offense.
So 2nd and short now out of the wishbone. Hatcher, the quarterback. Play fake this time. Hatcher will keep it himself. Has the first down and more across the 40 to about the 42. Ron Hadley makes the stop from an outside linebacker spot. Sam Smith clearing the way for him. I guess, Coach, you have to have your backs be able to block and block well in the wishbone.
Well, the nice thing about the wishbone is I have to block for you and you block for me. When I look at a statistic, the wishbone, if one back's gained 900 yards, the other one gained 200, that tells me the guy gained 200 yards is a better blocker.
JoJo Collins comes to the near side, and to the far side, that's Loy Alexander. A couple of whippets on the outside, and now Hatcher will go up. Has a lot of time, throws downfield, wide open, unable to make the catch. I believe somebody got a hand on it. Ball was intended for John Embry, and Ron Milas got a hand on it and deflected what could have been 6 points.
Well, it was a great play. You're going to see it here. What they did, they sent their flanker on a post route and sent the tight end down and out. Had he run his route a little bit deeper, breaking for the flag, it had been wide open. Washington was caught in a situation here where they had one defender in order to stop 2 deep receivers. Fortunately for Washington, the tight end broke his route off a little bit short Embry.
A fine play by Ron Milas. Just got a nail on the ball. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 now for the wishbone running Colorado Buffaloes. This is Hatcher, flag down. Pitch back this time going to Ron Brown. He's the speedster, gets out of bounds after a gain of about 2. Junior Ely, the man out in front of that play, a key player today for Colorado. He was the guy also who jumped.
Well, there was an illegal procedure. I'm not sure that the play was called. This was very well defensed by Washington. The key to stopping the wishbone is, number 1, the fullback.
Clear a dead ball for illegal procedure against the offense.
You've got to stop the fullback, Barry, and then get the quarterback to pitch the ball. And when you're successful defending the wishbone, it's because you have somebody coming inside out, either a linebacker or Zachary, a safety man. Somebody must force from inside out.
This is a very interesting statistic, I think. 6 of 7 wishbone offenses have gotten to bowl games in 1985. Not too many teams in the country running the wishbone, but the ones that are running it very well, obviously.
Well, I'll make a comment after this play on that.
2nd down and a bunch now. 2nd and 15. Normally a passing down, but with this offense, you don't know. Ron Brown across the 40 to the 41. Got about 4 of it back.
The wishbone is really a great offense. When executed well, it's very, very difficult to stop. But you do have to have a great quarterback, a good runner, etc. But if you take the, here we're going to see it again. It's just a power play. They pull Illy around in there. The fullback leads up in and just muscle. Out of the top 22 rushing teams in the country, 16 of them went to bowl games, 2 were on probation. Now the top 22 passing teams, 6 went to bowl game, 3 coaches were fired.
There's a moral in there someplace, I know that. 3rd down and 11. And the Huskies might have jumped. Flag is down, free play for Hatcher. He looks downfield, airs it out, covered is Brown, and it'll be incomplete, but I believe the Washington Huskies were offside.
Washington figured they would be throwing the football. They tried to jump up there, and sometimes you fall into the rhythm of the quarterback's cadence, etc. And I think we're going to have a penalty here. Very fine coverage there on Brown. Brown possesses great speed. He's 4'3". He watches 60 minutes in 30.
Ron Brown, former sprinter, 9,500 man, went to Pasadena City College right up the road here for a year after his freshman season at Colorado, and he says that was the best move he ever made. He came back a more mature player, one of the most popular players on the Buffaloes team. Very articulate young man. He'll play in the East-West game.
Of offsides, defense, 3rd down.
You've got to be able to throw the football today, Barry, if you're ever going to win a national championship. Make no mistake about it. But you just can't throw it every down and win.
So it'll be 3rd down and a long 5 for the Buffaloes.
This has a chance to go a long ways.
And Hatcher takes it himself and may have the 1st down. He does. Fine effort by Hatcher, and Washington seems to be kind of collectively scratching its head here.
Well, what happened there, Colorado came out and lined up in unbalanced. They lined up in unbalanced, having 5 people to the left-hand side, and Washington was just outnumbered here as far as personnel. He tucks it up inside, picks up the 1st down. The thing about Colorado, they will come out in an unbalanced or come out in a balanced, and it does present some problems to you on defense. If you don't make the proper adjustments, you're in trouble.
So 1st and 10 now for the Buffaloes as they move to the 47-yard line. Give this time straight ahead, and that is Smith gets down about the 41-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 6. Joe Kelly makes the stop.
Well, when you control the football, it makes it very, very easy on your defense, and that's what Colorado's doing at the present time. This is just a power football play. He turns, hands it off to the far back, and it's what we call the 22 play. After the ball snapped, there's 22 men in on the pile, but it's usually 5 yards further down the field.
So that'll be 2nd down and 4 now. McCarty in the ball game for the Colorado Buffaloes. Out of the wishbone once more, and Hatcher gets it to the 40-yard line and plays set up like it was going to be a pass, and Hatcher saw the opening and darted ahead. Planned play, I assume.
Well, it was a trap option. This is the first time, you're going to see a video, this is the first time that Washington has covered the guards of Colorado. And here the individual comes off the defensive guard to make the tackle. As I said, they can go unbalanced, present you with some problems, but Washington, Don James didn't go to school just to eat his lunch. He and his defensive staff, they're going to make adjustments as well, which they just did on the preceding play.
They're down in 3. Big play for the Buffaloes now. And this time it is Hatcher who is swarmed under at the 44-yard line. First man to him, Ron Hadley, the outside linebacker, number 59.
When we talked about this ball game before, we said one of the key matchups would be the guards on offense and on defense. And when they create a problem there, you don't have much option left, particularly if you control the line of scrimmage, which Washington did there.
And so Helton comes on to punt, looks for the corner, gets it off the side of his foot, a bad punt. And this one's going to be marked well upfield. I don't think this one's going to be more than about a 17 or 18-yard punt. And Washington comes out of this relatively unscathed. So 8 minutes, 13 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. We got a scoreless tie, a 13-yard punt. And we'll be back right after this. We've got plenty more bowl coverage coming your way here on Lorimar on New Year's Eve. The Bluebonnet Bowl from Houston, Texas. It'll be the Air Force Falcons 11-1 playing the Texas Longhorns. That's at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. The very best in college postseason football action right here on the Lorimar Sports Network. Washington will put it in play now for the second time. They bring 2 wideouts to the same side this time, Hill and Franklin. And now Franklin goes in motion on first down. Straight ahead fullback this time, and that is Covington, but the long flag is down.
We might have a holding penalty in there. It was a trap, handed off to the fullback, David Trimble, I think it was. There's a great picture of the Husky. I was eating a croissant this morning, hit the Marriott, and I don't mind telling you, that dog finished it for me without my permission.
Looks like he's feeling the effects of it, too.
Well, I tell you one day, we didn't even discuss that. One of the problems you have, Barry, you know, you run into different officials from different conferences in a bowl. And so holding is interpreted differently in all different conferences.
Against the offense, first down.
Officials in this ball game coming from the Southern Independent Officials Association. The referee is Paul Schmidt. So neither of these teams has seen referees from this particular area of the country. First and 20 now for the Washington Huskies. Chandler pitch back this time to the tailback, and the tailback is Weathersby, and Weathersby gets it back to the original line of scrimmage. Fine effort for Vince Weathersby.
Well, the cornerback, the strong safety, the all-conference, Mickey Pruitt come up and really supported the run well, but he got a great block from his fullback, and the young man, Vince Weathersby, really has great quickness. I had never seen him play in person before. Great quickness. And just a redshirt freshman. There are a number of them. As a matter of fact, the 2 setbacks in there now for the Washington Huskies, both redshirt freshmen, and the quarterback, Chris Chandler, just a sophomore. And here's a handoff and a counter play. Weathersby to the open at the 40, gets the 45, gets to about the 48-yard line. This is very well blocked play up front. It's a little bit of a trap. Weathersby just picked up the hole. Here you're going to see Weathersby coming over. You see the guard pulling out there, making the trap. The tight end comes down there, makes an outstanding block by Rod Jones. And one thing about Weathersby, he goes north-south. 18 yards on that one. Ball at the 48-yard line now. And up this time, it's Weathersby again at the right side. Gets 1 or 2 that time as the Colorado defense pursues very well. On to stop 49, Don DeLuzio, along with Barry Remington, both inside linebackers for the Buffaloes. As the offense on the sideline talks things over. They're talking about the different blocking schemes and things they have to do. There's always adjustments being made during the course of the football game. Colorado's defense, unusual as it may seem, their front 7 all hail from their native state of Colorado. Real tribute to that state. So it'll be second down, about 8 now for the Huskies. Chandler, the quarterback. Huskies content to run. That's exactly what Don James said they were going to do. Might have checked off here, and the man fell down. Lonzel Hill was the intended receiver, and he fell down before he could make his cut. Sometimes you get used to playing on AstroTurf, and the footing in grass is a little bit different. Lonzel Hill, they call him Thrill Hill, is the son of J.D. Hill. A great talent, a great wide receiver. He's only a junior, 5'11", 182. He will make some big plays before this game's over. Tough kid, too. Had arthroscopic surgery in the middle of the year and didn't miss a game. That's impressive. 3rd and 9. Either that or stupid. I'm not sure which.
Straight back to pass it. Counter play again. A fine play for Weathersby. Weathersby into the open again at the 40. At the 35. Dragged down with a saving tackle at the 34-yard line. A gain of 17.
I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see this or not, but it's a little shovel pass. Here we're going to get a chance to see it, I believe, a little shovel pass where he's going to drop back. Weathersby's going to set up there. See how that's a forward pass. If he does not catch it, that is considered an incomplete pass. Boy, I tell you, the folks up there in Seattle better buy their season tickets for the next 3 years because he's going to provide them with some thrills.
Just a freshman, now replaced by a sophomore, David Toy. Here's Chandler running along the line. He keeps it 30, 25, tries to get outside 20, breaks the tackle, gets it down to the 12-yard line. Chris Chandler, 22 yards, and a Huskies first down.
Don James has said he was going to run an option. This is the first option I believe they have run this entire year. The quarterback comes down there. You don't have to have great speed to run the option, but the end takes a pitch. He turns upside, gets some good blocking downfield, goes all the way down to the 12-yard line. They threw in the option. Chris Chandler, the sophomore, 6'3", 2'5". They put in the option for the first time for this game.
Scott Buss has come on to the near side now, and flags fall.
Sometimes people can't understand this call, but once your hand is down as an offensive lineman, you can never move. You can't even adjust your feet, etc., and that might possibly be the call here, illegal procedure.
I have a dead ball for illegal procedure. The offense violated the neutral zone. It shall be first down.
People say, well, why is that a penalty? And I know that I question on the sideline also. But if you put your hand and you're offside, or if you even move your feet, Barry, it's considered a penalty. The offensive lineman, once they put their hand down, cannot move.
And Don James, I think, just wants an explanation of this one, and he shall get it now from the referee.
And he wants it without an accent.
And that he will not get. So it'll be 1st and 15 now. Keep in mind, this has been done with no complete passes. They've only put it up once, and Lonzel Hill fell down. Chandler, long count. Counter play once more. This is the fullback, Covington. He gets down about the 13-yard line, a gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards. Gets it back right near the original line of scrimmage.
I might add, Barry, they're doing it against a very good Colorado football team. It really has great speed. Here you're going to see a replay again. A great play here by the middle guard that stays squared, comes off and makes a play. Kyle Rappold, I believe it is.
Fans here in absolutely balmy conditions. That cannot be said about either area of the country where these two teams come from. Chandler now on 2nd and 11. Dropped the ball, dives on it. Who got it? Buffalo say they do.
Well, they always wave their hands. In other words, the defensive team always says they have it, but I thought that Washington got the football. That's what you call self-inflicted wound, Barry. You just have to go for granted that you're going to get the quarterback center change because it's a loss of down here. Now it brings up 3rd down and 10. Here we're going to see it again. He just starts to pull away a little bit too early. And as we mentioned, you know, it's a young quarterback. You just sometimes things don't go as smoothly as the way you'd like them to.
And
critical 3rd and 11.
As we mentioned, only his 3rd start this year. Slot left this time. And in motion comes Franklin. Straight back to pass. Chandler has time out of the backfield. This is Weathersby, can't hang on.
Pass was slightly overthrown. Very well defensed by Colorado. I'm really impressed with the coaching staffs of both teams. They make tremendous adjustments during the course of the football game, and on this play, Colorado was defending the wide end of the field, and had the pass been completed, it wouldn't have gone for far. Here we have Jeff Yeager had a streak of 19 straight field goals this season, 5 for 5 versus Houston. The hardest place for a right-footed kicker is from the right hash mark. Fortunately, he might be back far enough to give him a good angle.
21-24 inside the 40-yard line for Yeager this year. Snap, place, kick on its way, and it's good.
I want to tell you, he could have kicked that from Seattle and had it been good.
So with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining to be played here in the first period, the Washington Huskies have drawn first blood. They lead Colorado 3-0. Barry Tompkins with Lou Holtz. Jeff Witcher is on the sideline. This broadcast, a copyright presentation of the Lorimar Sports Network. Any copying or other use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Lorimar Sports Network is prohibited. Jeff Jaeger to kick it off now. And in that alignment, Lou, that Colorado has, it does invite an onside kick.
It sure does. I don't know whether we'll see one or not eventually, but to be on the kickoff team, you got to be on the suicide squad.
And high end over end kick well into the end zone, and Alexander opts not to bring this one out. Let me point out that my partner up here, Lou Holtz, had pointed out the fact that 75% of the teams that kick off score first, and that has been the case here.
Well, we're fortunate that it worked out that way. It's a beautiful drive. It was very fine executed with an awful lot of big runs by Washington.
They tried 2 passes, neither was complete, both of the swing pass variety. And so now Colorado, we'll see what it can do offensively. Again, in the wishbone, Hatcher the quarterback. Hatcher keeps this time, gets to 25, gets to about the 28-yard line, a gain of about 8, maybe 9 yards. David Rill makes the stop from an inside linebacker spot defensively for the Huskies.
Yeah, this was great execution. Colorado came out, split out both ends, something they had not done earlier in the football game, but thus far they have not given the ball to the fullback except maybe on one occasion. And they're running east-west, but eventually the fullback's going to have to be the individual that establishes the inside game.
So it's Hatcher once more. Over center on 2nd and short. And the give this time is to the fullback. And so there you are, just like that. Anthony Weatherspoon, the ball carrier that time for his first carry.
They alternate a young man by the name of Anthony Weatherspoon and Eric McCarty, but the fullback Weatherspoon is 6 feet, 235 pounds. He's 4'7". He bench presses 400. Very strong, very physical football player. Here they come out in an unbalanced formation. Let's see how Washington reacts.
Unbalanced to the right side. Hatcher, long count this time, gives once more to Weatherspoon, but this time different results. Across the 35, might have gotten to the 36-yard line. Let's call it a gain of 2.
Boy, is that well played by Washington. Washington is such a good defensive football team. Their shoulders stay squared. They really get to the football, and they obviously have very intelligent football players that can find the football. You know, you have people that wonder what's going on, and some people say, is anything going on? But Washington can find the football well.
We'll call it a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 3 now. This time Hatcher keeps the ball and is turned upfield, back at about the 38-yard line. A gain of about 2 yards on the play, but Washington starting to defend very well against that, especially when Hatcher keeps the ball himself.
If they cannot gain consistency, and I'm referring to Colorado on offense, it will be an awful long day. They only completed approximately 33% of their passes this entire year. They only threw 90 passes, had 7 of them intercepted. They could not afford to come up 3rd down and 6.
And that's what they're looking at right now. This time Hatcher pitches back. And nowhere to go is Smith. He is surrounded and down way back at the 29-yard line. That'll be a loss of about 10 yards.
Well, that was the 15th rush. Here we're going to see a replay of it. Nobody is taking the fullback. They're coming on outside. They don't get a good option job done there on the defensive end. And Washington just swarms Smith. Very well played.
Washington playing solid defense now, and Barry Helton, fine punter, comes on for the Buffaloes. Good kick this time, headed for Milas. He handles it about the 27-yard line to the 30, and gets to about the 33. A return of 6 yards, 43-yard punt for Helton, his second 43-yard punt. And so the Huskies will put it in play at the 33-yard line. Jim Smith makes the tackle defensively on special teams for the Colorado Buffaloes.
Thus far, Colorado has run the football 15 plays with only 1 pass. That's all right if you're getting 4 and 5 yards out of your fullback on 1st down, but you cannot afford to come up 3rd and 6, as we mentioned, Barry.
So the Huskies start at the 33-yard line now. Out of the I formation, Rick Finney is in the ball game now for the Huskies. Key player for him. We'll speak of him a little bit more. In motion this time comes Scott Joe, rather Bus, and a handoff straight ahead goes David Toy, and he gets about 3 across the 35. Let's go down to the sideline now, and Jeff Witcher with some special guests. Jeff?
What would a bowl game be without the cheerleaders? And right now we have the Washington Husky cheerleaders who have a message for all of you. Take it away, girls.
Happy New Year, Seattle Huskies!
Now let's go back upstairs to Barry Tompkins and Lou Holtz.
Okay, thank you, Jeff, and thanks to the Washington Huskies cheerleaders. In motion this time now is Rod Jones, and Chandler rolls to his left, looks downfield, pump fake, throws to the underman, and that was Rick Finney out of the backfield, a gain of a couple to about the 38-yard line. Finney gives you a lot of elements. He can run with the football, he can catch the football. Second team all-conference, even though he didn't play in too many football games. In fact, Don James built his offense around Rick Finney, and when Finney got hurt early in the season, and he's still playing on a very sore hamstring, Don James had to change the offense. A lot of injuries on this Huskies team. Third down, about 6. Finney the lone setback. Long count for Chandler. Short drop. Throws for Lonzell Hill. He's got it out of bounds at about the 43, 44-yard line. Lonzell Hill, as we've said on numerous occasions, the big play guy for the Huskies team. 17 yards on that one.
Well, this is just a great throw. You're going to see a replay here. Hill gets right on the sideline, goes up, comes down inside, almost breaks a tackle there. Young man has great balance, great quickness. Tremendous touch there by the quarterback, Chris Chandler. That was impressive. Now, Washington has gone unbalanced, but unlike Colorado, they are overshifted, which we'll come back to, Barry.
All right, end of the first quarter, and we will come back and pick that thought up. The Huskies lead it 3-0. We still got 3 quarters of football to play in the Freedom Bowl. Second quarter action is being brought to you by today's Chevrolet, who invites you to live the style, performance, and fun of Chevrolet in '86. Lou, we were talking a little bit earlier about both teams going to an unbalanced line, but they're doing so differently.
Well, both of them have mixed in an unbalanced line on occasion. When Colorado goes unbalanced, Washington's staying the same, but when Washington goes unbalanced, Colorado is overshifting, so I think we can see Washington go a little bit more weak side.
All right, we'll see what happens. They're in a slot right now. Now they bring the tight end Jones over to that same side, and now bring Trimble in motion. On 1st and 10, first play of the second quarter. Pitch back this time to Toy. Toy trying to get outside, can't quite do it. Gain of a yard across the 45 to about the 44. Numbers at the end of the first period, pretty much indicative of how this game has gone so far. No yards passing for Colorado, only 21 for Washington. They have not put it up too much. 73 yards rushing to 40 for Colorado, and the time of possession is in favor of Colorado. So the statistics really favoring Washington even more than the scoreboard.
The only time ball possession is important is who gets to keep the game ball when it's over.
Slot left this time now for the Huskies on 2nd and long. Hill in the slot, Trimble in motion. This time Chandler pitching back to Finney, and well defended that time. Key man was Don DeLuzio, who made the play on Chandler and forced perhaps an earlier pitch than Chandler would have liked.
With John Bennett, you're going to see going to come up here and make a nice play here. This is the second nice play in a row by John Bennett. He gives the individual only one way to go, that's inside. When the ball carrier tries to break outside, John Bennett's there to bring him down.
Finney was the ball carrier. Interesting story about Finney I'll bring up right after this play. Meantime, 3rd and 11 passing down now for the Huskies. Out of the I formation, Toy is the up back. Trimble in motion. Straight back to pass this time is Chandler. Slips and falls. Now he gets up, throws, intercepted. It is picked off by Barry Remington. Remington back to the 40-yard line and is stopped short of the 40 at about the 38-yard line. So Chandler underthrowing just a little bit. The intended receiver, Vince Weathersby, was wide open.
Well, Barry Remington had 162 tackles. Here you're going to see the tight end drag across. They try to bring the split end to Hill right in here behind Remington. The ball just doesn't quite get up enough. Fine interception there by Remington. He does bring the ball back to approximately the 38-yard line.
Trimble was the intended receiver, not Weathersby. And there's the man who made the interception, Barry Remington, out of Boulder, Colorado. Interesting point about the fact there's a lot of homegrowns on that team.
Well, the front 7 of Colorado, all from the state of Colorado.
So the Buffaloes start things again. This is Hatcher once more. Pitches back this time to Smith. Nothing doing. Gain of about 2. I don't believe he did get that much forward. Thought he might have gone out of bounds there, but he got across the 40 to about the 42, turned nothing into something, a gain of about 4 yards.
Washington's cornerbacks, Milas, along with Tony Zachary and Alan James, are really doing a good job of coming up and supporting the run. But this is the thing, the wishbone doesn't look like much, but they're right on rhythm now, 2nd down and 5. They're dealing the cards, Barry.
Give this time to the first man, that's Ron Brown. He's turned back at about the 43-yard line, a gain of a yard maybe, not much more than that. And now they'll be looking at 3rd and 5. David Rill having a fine game so far at his inside linebacker spot for the Huskies.
David is certainly a very strong football player. 2 of these football players from Washington were all conference. As I mentioned at the top of the show, and I believe it sincerely, they're not a better defensive coach than him. Here we see some adjustments being made by the Washington offensive coaching staff.
So 3rd down, call it 3rd and 4. And they bring Brown in motion now. And Hatcher gives, flag is down, flags all over the place, and Smith is short of the 1st down.
Well, Ron Brown shifted out of the backfield, came out here as a wide receiver, didn't get out there quite in time. The ball was snapped before he was completely set. He was moving towards the line of scrimmage, so it's called illegal motion, although it may be declined because it would bring up 4th down and 1.
I think it will in fact be declined.
I'm not sure that would be a wise decision to decline that penalty, because Colorado is very apt to go for it on 4th and 1. When you're
decline, 4th down.
Now they are going to punt, but 4th and 1, you got to go for that sometimes when you're a wishbone football team.
And so Helton will come on to do the punting. Very effective punter. 2 43-yard efforts so far tonight, and a 43-yard season's average. Gets a high spiraling kick, tough kick for Milas to handle, and he lets it go. And it will go into the end zone, but not by much, and a flag is down. Have a flag down at the 13-yard line, 54 yards on that punt by Helton, although I think he would have liked it better if it was 52.
Yeah, he certainly would have. The penalty might be on waving for a fair catch and then blocking. You cannot mislead somebody waving for a fair catch and then block, but we'll just have to wait and see, but that might be the call, Barry.
And so we'll see. Milas is talking to the referee here.
I know people say, well, what in the world did the officials talk about that? I've asked that myself several times from the sideline. But what they want to do before they make a decision, they want to make sure they have all the facts, make sure they all agree on the rule interpretation before they go any further. There's Don James and, of course, Coach McCartney, wondering what in the world's going on so many times. I tell you, we spent less time at Russian peace talks than they have on that decision.
If they're both amicable, though.
Yeah, it's really amazing. If you could just be down on the sideline, Barry, and hear the different officials when they try to give you an interpretation sometimes, but I have great respect for the officials. I jokingly talked about Mickey Mouse in an official's outfit prior to the football game. Here it comes.
The dead ball clip against the receiving team, 1st down 20.
So a dead ball clip, which means that the foul occurred after the play, really, and so it will be assessed afterward and will be a 1st down and 20. If you understood that, I'll give you a written report on that one.
Well,
we'll be back. 3-0 ball game. Don't go away. Barry Tompkins with Lou Holtz and Jeff Witcher. 3-0 ball game in the 2nd annual Freedom Bowl. The Huskies lead it. They start now from their own 10-yard line, and they start with a 1st and 20 because of the dead ball violation. Chandler, the quarterback, slot left formation. Give this time is to Weathersby, trying to get outside, nothing doing. Stop for a loss of a yard. David Tate coming up from the cornerback to play the force.
Well, there isn't anything more difficult than starting on your 10-yard line when you're 1st and 20. Here we're going to see the quarterback center exchange. It's just a power. He breaks to the outside. Fine. You talk about good defensive play there. Pads out, hangs on to the posse, arrives. 2nd down and 20.
Slot right left once more with Lonzel Hill in the slot. Out of the I formation now. They bring Franklin in motion. Give to the fullback, Finney. Flag is down. Finney gets about 3. I started to tell you about Finney before. He missed all or part of 5 ball games this year with injuries, but interestingly enough, when Finney has played more than 1/4 of a football game this year, the Huskies are 6-0. When he has played less than a quarter, they're 0-5. So how important is he?
Well, I think you can say that about Coach McCartney. When his back is bad, he's 0-2. When his back is good, he's 7-2. My question was, how's his back? Here was an illegal procedure, which brings up 2nd and 25. And I want to tell you, you talk about changing professions. This is a time you think about getting out of coaching when you're 2nd and 25 over 5.
So Chandler gives to the fullback this time and essentially just tries to get his punter a little bit more room. Finney gets up over the 5-yard line to about the 6-yard line. But the Buffaloes should have it in good field position here.
I think Washington can get their receivers open if they can get the time to protect the football. The problem they're faced with is Colorado really does a good job of rushing the passer. But they have great receivers, a good passing game. They can get people open when they get committed to throwing it here.
3rd down, 23 now. Let's see if they do. This flag is down. And let's see what we got here. There's still 3 seconds showing on the clock, so delay of game will not be the call. We'll see.
No, what you have is an illegal procedure. Washington's doing an awful lot of shifting. The guy's up on the line, he's backing off the line, he's coming in motion. At the same time, the flanker's adjusting his width. You got 2 people in motion, and then somebody has to come to a stop. And I know Coach James is wondering what's going on, but they're doing an awful lot of shifting. As I said, they maybe have done this all year. But people interpret some of the rules differently, Barry, at different sections of the country, and that's what you find not only in this bowl game, in many bowl games.
Let's pause 5 seconds so the stations down the line can identify themselves. This is the Lower Mars Sports Network.
This is KCPQ, the college sports channel.
3rd down, 26 for the Washington Huskies now. Chandler on a counter play, and that's Weathersby, and there's nobody home. He gets to about the 3-yard line, might have lost a yard.
Well, this is where the kicking game becomes quite exciting. They do not have room to run their normal punt coverage. Here you're going to see it right here. He makes a nice move, but the linebacker steps up in there, makes an outstanding play. Colorado's a great defensive team, but as they try to punt now, they're only going to have 12 yards to punt the football. I wouldn't be surprised to see Colorado pressure and even get a piece of it.
Well, in fact, Cleveland, as you mentioned earlier, has had 2 punts blocked. One of them cost his team a football game, that against Oregon State. And this is Ferrando, who will handle this one. Make that Collins handling it at the 48-yard line. To the 50, has room, 40, to the 35, tries to get the outside, does so. Down to the 30, gets to the 25-yard line. A fine return of 29 yards by JoJo Collins.
It was a great return by JoJo Collins. He got some great blocking, but more importantly, there's not a flag down. Here you're going to see about a 51-yard punt, and what Colorado decided to do, rather than rush the punter, was they had a punt hold up once they broke the first wave. He almost went all the way. Just a real fine defensive play over here, enabled him from going all the way, but they have great field position on the 26.
Great block, incidentally, by Miles Kusayangi.
Here's a problem again, and I think we're going to have an illegal procedure once again, Barry, is once your hands are down, you cannot be adjusting your feet, etc. And that's what the referee's telling them. I know Coach McCartney wondered what's going on, but maybe you did it all year and they just don't interpret in your conference in that manner.
Now the dead ball, illegal procedure, the offense is in the neutral zone.
And he is absolutely correct. Well, you cannot come up and move the hand or the feet, and yet, you know, maybe they don't call it that strict in your conference. So that's why it gets very, very frustrating in bowl games, and I've noticed it more this year, Barry, than any other year.
So Colorado will start 1st and 15 now. Not an easy thing for a wishbone team. Back at the 31-yard line. Alexander goes to the far side. He's the only wide out. Wishbone once more. Hatcher is the quarterback. Give this time is to Brown. Brown gets it down about the 26. Got about 5 of it back.
Just good old-fashioned football where Colorado's trying to use a brush block. They're trying to brush your chest up against your spine. Here you can see 19 rushes and only 1 pass, and that pass was almost intercepted. I do expect that we will see Colorado throw the ball more in the future. as the game goes along, but not soon.
I think we could say that about Washington, too. They have only put it up 7 times. This time Hatcher keeps, now pitches back to Smith, tries to get around him, and does so. Gets to about the 25-yard line as once more the Huskies strung the play out.
Well, they did a great job of stringing it out. The option was sort of nullified because they did not allow Hatcher to get all the way down the line. The rhythm of Colorado is not what it was during the entire course of the year. I had the opportunity to watch a couple of their film. Their offensive line has been very, very good. Their rhythm has been very, very sharp, but they're just a little bit off sync. Sometimes it's the emotion in a football game like this.
And now the Huskies come with 5 linebackers. Play fake this time. Hatcher will throw. Does so. Has a man. Wide open is Ferrando. And Ferrando has a first down at the 12-yard line.
Well, it was a fine throw and a fine catch. Hatcher was a running back up until last year. Here we're going to see him come down the line here. He pulls up good protection and he drills the ball. As a freshman, Hatcher played running back. They moved him to quarterback. But what people don't realize is he threw for over 2,000 yards in high school in California. He does have the ability to throw the football.
Ferrando made that catch, and he's caught a lot of balls before. He was a high school teammate of John Pay, who was the quarterback up at Stanford.
And a fine.
So a big first down off the first complete pass of the afternoon by Hatcher. Give this time is to the fullback. Straight ahead, that's Weatherspoon. He gets a couple down to about the 10-yard line. Gain him about 3. Colorado offensive line getting off the ball pretty well there.
Well, they really are. The longer you're in the wishbone during the course of the game, the more you fall into the rhythm of it. If I robbed a bank and didn't want anybody to know who I was, I would become an offensive lineman, because unless I held or jumped offside, nobody would know who I was, nor would they care. But the offensive line is the crux of your team on offense.
I will give him credit. Pat Ryan, Junior Ely, Eric Coyle, Chris Symington, and James Webb. And straight ahead now for close to a first down is Ron Brown. He may be a yard short, but the offensive line, once more, just opening enough of a gap for Brown to get through.
Well, they've gotten away from the option here on this drive. Here you're going to see him just turn hand off. Great block there by Weatherspoon. Brown has good body lean, falls forward, brings up third down about a half a yard, which in a wishbone is just the ideal situation.
So essentially they have 2 downs to make a half a yard here. We'll call it 3rd and 1, even though the graphic says 3rd and 2. And to give to Brown, he's got a first down at about the 1-yard line.
Well, the young man is really an outstanding athlete, and he has tremendous body control. As you can see, that time he went up over it. Here we're going to see it again. He gets good blocking from Smith, and he just leaps up over, and it's very, very difficult to stop unless you get penetration with the defensive line. And I wouldn't be real surprised to see basically the same play coming up again. But unfortunately here we have a little bit of a timeout because of an injury to Ron Hadley. Ron Hadley is a fine linebacker, senior from Boise, Idaho. But hopefully it isn't anything serious.
Well, he is on his feet, and hopefully he will not be hurt too seriously. 7 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in the half, and the Huskies lead, but are at their backs to the wall. Barry Tompkins with Lou Holtz and Jeff Witcher on the sidelines. 3-0 ball game. Colorado threatening, however. Good news for Husky fans. Ron Hadley, the man who went down just a moment ago, had his calf stepped on. Not serious. He will be back. Meantime, 4 downs to get it in here. And Ron Brown dives, doesn't get there. Good defense that time by the Huskies.
This time, Washington got some penetration with their defensive line. Ron Brown could not get the height, and the linebacker could now feel it. You see, you get some penetration right there. And the only chance you have to really stop at is to get some penetration, which Tony Zachary come up here and made a great hit. Sometimes when you try to dive over like that, you have a tendency to fumble.
Still got about a half a yard out of it. 2nd down. And this time it's Hatcher stopped short.
Down on the goal line, you've got to gamble a little bit here. Had he pitched the football, Smith could have walked into the end zone. Here you're going to see you got to stop the fullback. They did a great job here. The cornerback comes in along with the linebacker, makes a real fine play, Ron Milas. And I hope I'm pronouncing these names properly. I sure wouldn't want to do an injustice to a young man who makes a good play. I hope that people accept my apologies if I do err. It wasn't intentional.
David Rill also there. He's been all around the football this evening. 3rd down now, and they might have jumped. Weatherspoon gets in. No flags. Touchdown, Colorado.
Just a good old-fashioned hand the ball to the fullback, and shortest distance between 2 points, a straight line. That's certainly what they did there. Got some awfully nice blocking from the left side of the line. You can't give enough credit to Pat Ryan and Junior Eiley. Here you see him just dive in the end zone. Here's a good look at Anthony Witherspoon, the sophomore from California.
Blocking up front, and the Buffaloes have gone in front. Try for point now. Larry Eckel, straight ahead kicker, puts it through. It's good. 5 minutes, 59 seconds remaining in the half. And we've had the first touchdown of the evening, and it's scored by the Wishbone Colorado Buffaloes. They lead the Washington Huskies 7-3, and we'll be back with more from Anaheim Stadium right after this. Barry Tompkins with Lou Holtz and Jeff Witcher. We're back at Anaheim Stadium. 7-3 ball game now, and we want to remind you the Anaheim Hilton Towers put you right next to Disneyland with the finest in service and accommodations. David Rill has had just a brilliant ball game. We mentioned he's all around the ball tonight. Lou, look at those numbers.
He has 10 tackles already. He's really a great football player. It seems like the great football players always sort of come to the forefront the most in a big football game. Football's a game of momentum. Things go back and forth.
Trimble and Toy, the deep man now, an end-over-end kick, and Trimble will have a chance at this one at the 8, to the 10, 15, to the 20-yard line. A little bit of a gap behind some blocking, gets across the 30, flag is down at the 34, and that certainly will cost the Huskies.
Well, penalties have really been crucial in the football game. You have turnovers are always critical, and certainly penalties. The last touchdown set up by Colorado was brought about because of a 10-yard penalty, which caused Washington to face 1st and 20 from their own 10-yard line, and that set up Colorado's touchdown. Here they get a nice return out to the 34, get called for holding, going to put the ball back on the 20. So they're going to be starting 80 yards away, and your chance of scoring when you start your own end of the field.
Against the receivers, during the run back, 1st and 10.
Chance of scoring when you start your end of the field are 1 in 13.
Now let's see if Washington doesn't decide to put it up a little bit more. As we mentioned, they've only put it up 7 times, and they haven't really gone down the field with it, but for once, and that was intercepted. Chandler, the quarterback, sophomore quarterback. They bring Toy in motion. And here's a little hitch pass for Covington. That was Covington in motion at the 20 to about the 25. Gain of about 5 yards. Let's go down to Jeff Witcher on the sidelines now. Jeff's got a special guest. Jeff?
Thank you very much, Barry. With me, one of the members of the Los Angeles Rams, Vince Newsom, who went to Washington. What have you thought so far this first half?
I think it's pretty balanced. Washington got out the blocks a little bit, drove a few, but Colorado's staying tough.
Well, you think Washington will come back?
Oh, of course.
Of course. He went to Washington, and good luck against Dallas.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Vince Newsom of the Rams now back upstairs to Barry Tompkins.
2nd and 4 now is a gain of 6 yards on that hitch pass. This time a give to the fullback, and nothing doing as Covington goes nowhere. Don DeLuzio makes the stop. Interestingly enough, Washington has managed to negate Dan McMillan, who is Colorado's most valuable player. You heard McCartney talking about him in that interview that Jeff Witcher did with him. We haven't called his name all night, but up the middle, Barry Remington and Don DeLuzio are having fine ball games.
They're playing awful well on defense.
So it'll be 3rd and 4 now. Out of the I formation. Quick count this time. Chandler play fake. He'll go up. Pump fake. Now he's in trouble. Throws over the middle on a comeback pattern, and it's no good. Intended that time for Vince Weathersby at the 30-yard line. And so the Huskies will have to give it up. Colorado will have another chance.
Colorado does a good job of putting pressure on the quarterback. You can't play great pass defense if you don't pressure the quarterback. But in order to pressure the quarterback, you got to take away his first look to the receiver, which Colorado's done a great job. The momentum has really switched to Colorado. Unless the big play happens for Washington, Colorado's going to score again.
Cleveland will punt it away to JoJo Collins. Big rush that time. Flag is down. They might have gotten a piece of Cleveland, but there is no flag. Collins tries it again at the 40-yard line. Slips by 2 men, but down he goes back at the 39. 40-yard punt, 5-yard return. But a flag is down back at the 27-yard line. We'll see what this is all about. If it is against Colorado, and it is, It will give Washington a first down, and that is a major break, Lou.
That really is. Instead of having a ball on the 40-yard line with momentum going your way, you now give them another 4 downs because it was 4th and 4. The young man on the left-hand side, I'm sorry I did not catch his number, and probably just as well for his parents that I did, but he's a gentleman, almost blocked the punt.
Against the defense, first down.
And was just a little bit too quick.
So a big break for the Washington Huskies. As you mentioned earlier, Lou, momentum was on the side of the Colorado Buffaloes. Now we'll see that the Huskies have 4 more snaps. Hill to the near side. Remember, a big play guy. Play fake. Chandler will go up on first down. Looks for Hill. Can't hang on. Good coverage by the Buffaloes.
The weak side linebacker there really did an outstanding job for Colorado. DeLucio just came back off out here. You're going to see the play action fake. He's trying to drag the tight end back here weak and hook the split end. Hill in beside him. But you just see the linebacker making a great play coming across there, Remington. Fine play, nice pattern developed, but very well defensed.
First time that I can recall they've gone up on first down. 2nd and 10 now for the Huskies. They bring Trimble in motion. And Chandler will keep it. And Chandler gets across the 35 to about the 37. It'll be a gain of about 5 yards. Kyle Rappold, the middle guard, makes the tackle defensively.
Well, this was a trap option. If you remember the last time on 2nd down, they ran the trap and it was jammed. They faked the trap and then Chandler tried to come down on the option, but it was very well defensed. I'm impressed with the defense of both teams, and the linebackers really have a knack of finding the football. Remington was not misled by the fake of the fullback. 3rd and 6.
Hill to the left side. That is the far side. Trimble to the near side. Play fake. Chandler will go up again. Quick toss this time. That's Jones, the tight end. First down and more at the 49-yard line. So Jones slipped and fell. Made the first down easily. Gained a 13 and might have had a few more.
Well, this is the first time that Colorado has really gone to man coverage. And the little play action fake, they lost a tight end. Jones came across. You see 33 receptions, 315 yards. He really did a nice job. He caught the ball a little bit different than you'd normally see a tight end catch it, but it was effective.
So a first down on the first pass to the tight end by Chandler as Washington starts to open up its offense a little bit with 3:20 remaining in the half. Chandler gives this time to Weathersby, and Weathersby is surrounded. It'll be a loss of a yard. Rodney Rogers making the play from a free safety spot.
Well, the way Colorado is defending that is they're trying to kick everything to the sideline. They're saying, okay, you aren't going to run up inside. We're going to force it to the outside, and they have such great speed in their secondary. For example, Wilcox is a 4-4 individual, as is their free safety, Rodney Rogers. So they have great speed. They're forcing them to run east-west, and then they're running them down.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 11. Straight back to pass this time. Chandler has time. Throws. Hill wide open. Turns inside. First down at about the 38-yard line of the Buffaloes.
Boy, this is really a big-time throw. What enabled that pattern to come open was just fake the draw a little bit here. They faked the draw, held it, the rush down a little bit, threw it right up here. Good for about an 18-yard outcut. Hill has great presence, great awareness, catches the ball, tuck it in before the tackle is made there.
And a look at Lonzel Hill. He has another year. Chandler, of course, has 2 more. Don James feels that Chandler may be the best quarterback ever at Washington by the time he graduates, and that takes in some good company. Here's Jones with another first down.
Well, they're really falling into a rhythm now, which is something they did not have previously. Here the tight end, Rod Jones, comes across, makes a nice reception. But they're just mixing up their play action pass, and here we're going to see it again. Boom, sets up. As soon as he sets up, the ball's underway. Jones catches the ball, turns it upfield.
And a 12, first down at the 26-yard line. Franklin to the far side, Hill to the near side. In the I formation, Weathersby the up back.
Second off, they came with
and a great play to Weathersby. Weathersby takes it all the way down to the 13-yard line, ran right by the blitzing linebacker.
Well, it was a beautiful check off for the young sophomore, Chris Chandler. You can see Colorado has a tendency to blitz inside their own 30-yard line. Here they come with the blitz, hand it right off. They put pressure on Chandler, and Weathersby went right up inside. Beautiful checkoff, well-designed play, well blocked up front.
Great read by the sophomore quarterback. Incidentally, Weathersby, in his 4 carries before that, had been held without a yard, and on that one, he scampers for 14. Ball at the 12. First down for the Huskies. Give to the fullback this time. That's Fenny. And Fenny gets it down across the 10 on a good individual effort to about the 8-yard line.
Well, that was a tremendous effort by the young man. I think you mentioned they were 2-0 when he's played longer in a quarter, I think it was. I can see why. He gives an awful lot to that football team. Washington has really kept their poise, which is a tribute to Don James, you know, but momentum swings back and forth. Once they got that second chance, they've made the most of it.
Mark it at the 9-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6. Straight back Chandler. Out of the backfield, this is Fenny, and he gets a real shot. Mickey Pruitt was the man who came up to make that play, just a sophomore. One-on-one with a bigger Fenny, made a fine play.
Well, it was a fine play. We're going to see it again. He drops off in there. It was a design play that hit it off to him all the way, thinking maybe they would be man coverage. However, they were zoned. The one thing I'll say about Colorado secondary, they don't mind putting a helmet on you.
Mickey Pruitt from Chicago. Loss of 4. So far, there's the drive. 12 plays. This is the 13th. Chandler looks to the end zone. He's got a little room to run. Now throws. Comeback pattern. Fine grab down there. Fighting for the ball, and Lonzel Hill comes away with it. He is a quality receiver. He'll be very close to the first down.
I believe he's got the first down. They may have to measure. Well, maybe they did. The thing that made this play was the athletic ability of the quarterback, being able to avoid the pass rush there, getting on the outside. Then Hill has a great knack of sliding to the open area. It's either going to be a first down or it's going to be 4th and inches. I didn't notice whether he marked with his left foot or his right foot, as John Madden said.
We'll find out if he got a left-footed or right-footed mark. And he got a right-footed mark. That's a first down. Don James looking on the sidelines, has to be pleased with his offense right now. Lonzel Hill, incidentally, did a very smart thing there, just in coming back to the football. Very poised.
Very poised. He found the open area. When the quarterback's in trouble, the deep receivers want to come short. The short receivers want to go deep. But he had great presence. Tremendous job by Chandler finding him. I must say this. It's very difficult to get the football in these last 3 yards. You're really going to have to be very physical up front and control the line. Your backs are going to have to BYOB. We call it be your own blocker. There's no way in this world you can knock them all down.
Chandler wants a timeout. He will come over and talk to Don James. 34 seconds is all that remains here in the first half. Meanwhile, on high, the Goodyear blimp. The Airship Columbia, Tom Mattis, it's Abel Pilot, our cameraman up there giving you these beautiful pictures tonight. Such a clear night. Boog Powell never could hit a curveball, could he?
Well, I can't say that, but if you ever want to call timeout as a quarterback, it's just after you made a couple great plays, couple great throws, picked up the first down. Now come over to the coach and say, Coach, how am I doing? Yeah, that's when the coach in a great mood, he puts his arm around you. But I imagine people say, well, what in the world do you talk about? Here, you have to check off so many times. You don't know for sure what they're going to run on defense. Chandler's had a fine day. He has thrown the 1 interception, but he's converted an awful lot of critical third down. What you're telling the quarterback, hey, there's only 34 seconds left to go. How many timeouts you have left? We got 3 on the board. Don't take them away, but let's get 7. Here's how we want to do it.
So it'll be first down and goal. 34 seconds remaining. Chandler brings his team in a straight T. And a give this time to the second man and a touchdown for Toy.
This is something like the wishbone. It was the inside veer. They faked to the fullback. Got tremendous movement on the backside. Great block by the lead blocker. Went in and scored with only 30 seconds to go. Tony David, happy young man. Here we're going to see it again. They fake to the fullback up inside. Good block by the lead back. Good movement on the offensive line, and Tony knows where the end zone is and gets his pads out in front, goes in for the touchdown.
So David Toy takes it in, and Jaeger will come on to try the point now. He'll do so on the hold of Chandler. And that penalty looming very large now. It gave the Huskies a second chance. They turned it on from there. Bad snap, but Jaeger still got it up and through.
Great football games are when momentum goes back and forth. The great team will get up off the ground. It's like life. You're down, you got to get up. Things were going against Washington. They got a little break. They took advantage of it. They've now taken the lead. with only 30 seconds to go in the first half, which has been a very rapid half, but also very well played with, I believe, only one turnover.
I'm really impressed with the poise of Chandler. He's just a sophomore, even though he's a third-year sophomore. He doesn't play like a sophomore.
No, he doesn't, but that's a real tribute to the coaching staff. You know, you go out and you recruit these athletes, then you got to bring them in and you got to de-recruit them, certainly. They've got to learn your system. They've got to accept their plate in life. And all great football teams have what we call role players. Everybody has to accept their role. Maybe it's a backup. Maybe it is a big play receiver. Maybe you're going to be called on predominantly to block. But you've got to accept your role, and the quarterback has got to blend in there, and he's the catalyst that makes it go, and they've done a beautiful job. Hatcher's done the same thing for Colorado this year.
What do you think, Coach? You look for an onside kick here with 30 seconds left?
I want onside kick, and I'd either kick it out of the stadium or else I'd kick it along the ground, but I'd kick it deep.
And he kicks it deep. Kicks it very deep, as a matter of fact. Alexander will not try it. That scoring drive, very impressive. It took almost 5.5 minutes, 14 plays, 80 yards, and the best part about it all, they scored.
Well, they got something out of it. It was a tremendous drive. If we'd remember, the penalty did keep it alive, but that's a tribute to Washington to be able to come back. And more importantly, there isn't anything that'll keep the other team off the scoreboard quicker than a 5.5-minute drive.
The Huskies lead it by 3 with time running out here in the first half. Just 29 seconds left. I think I knew her. In fact, I think I dated her.
That always reminds me when I was at Arkansas, we used to play Texas. They had that big bull, and here's that young man by the name of Ralphie. And I must say this, the fans here loved him. When they brought him out, I've never heard such cheer, and I thought maybe the president was here. Appears that what Colorado's going to be content to do is to run the clock out. They aren't going to put the ball up. They're saying, hey, we're only down by 3 points. That's we get the ball to, you know, the second half, we can do something with it at that time.
And thus the first half comes to an end, and an impressive first half. Well-played football game, I would say, Lou.
I would say the best thing about the first half, both teams are glad to be here. They played hard. They've been well coached, well prepared. But it's a physical football game. You can hear the pads hitting up here, and that means the youngsters love the game.
All right, let's go down to the field now. Jeff Witcher is with Don James. Jeff?
Thank you very much, Don James. You have to be satisfied with that last scoring drive. It was a beauty.
We've been able to put a couple of drives together, and we're not doing too badly on defense. We've had an incredible number of penalties.
Now, did Colorado do everything that you expected? Any surprises from them?
No, they've broken the bone. This is the first time they've done it, and they've got some new wrinkles in on offense.
Congratulations. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Don James, head coach of Washington. Now let's go back up to Barry and Lou.
Okay, thanks, Jeff Witcher, and a fine coached first half on both sides of the football, both for Don James and Bill McCartney. Outstanding first half of football. 10-7 ball game. The Washington Huskies leading the Colorado Buffaloes. 30 minutes of football left. Back with the halftime activities after this. 10-7 ball game here, just about the end of the halftime festivities. Washington leading Colorado. Washington doing so by way of an 80-yard touchdown drive toward the end of the first half with only 21 seconds remaining in the half. Colorado had scored earlier. It had scored being set up by a JoJo Collins punt return to the 25-yard line. Buffaloes then drove down inside the 5-yard line, and then from the 1-yard line, a very simple play. In fact, both touchdowns were very, very simple. Hatcher, the quarterback here, and there was nothing fancy about it. Just straight power dive, and into the end zone went Witherspoon for the touchdown. So that put the Buffaloes on top, and things looked very rosy indeed for them. But after a penalty that gave Washington a second chance, well, the Huskies came all the way back. The Huskies finally getting it down to about the 3-yard line, and then it was David Toy. Second guy, there is Toy, gets outside, dives into the end zone for the Washington touchdown. Those are the only 2 touchdowns of the half, but Washington's coming at the end of an 80-yard drive. Took 5.5 minutes, and Washington leads it by a 10-7 count. Still, no clear-cut leader in this football game, even though Washington's on top of the scoreboard by 3 points. So the Huskies leading at 10-7 over Colorado. Colorado has not gone away at all. They've done a fine job so far, and I think whoever can come out, perhaps score early in the second half, would have a very good chance. Let's go down to the field right now to Jeff Witcher. Jeff?
Thank you very much, Barry. Bill McCartney, head coach of Colorado, with me now. You're down by 3. What do you have to do in the second half to win this football game?
Well, I think we've got to move the football better. You know, obviously, our defense is playing well enough. We made a foolish mistake there on punting situation and gave them the ball back, and they've hit a few passes on us. But it's my feeling right now that the only way they've been able to run the football is finesse us a little bit. And when that's the case, then I always feel like we can get them stopped. If we got to move the ball, and that we haven't done very well.
Good luck, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Bill McCartney, the head coach of Colorado. We're just about ready for the second half, so let's go back upstairs to Barry Tompkins and Lou Holtz.
Okay, thank you very much. That is neither Lou Holtz nor Barry Tompkins, but one of the fans here. And it's a 10-7 ball game, and we're just about to get started here in the second half. Here's a look at some of the numbers, and the numbers clearly in favor of the Washington Huskies, Lou.
Well, the big thing, if you notice there, are the 11 penalties. Most of them have been very, very costly because of motion. 84 yards rushing. What is interesting is the fullbacks from Colorado have carried the ball 5 times for a total of 13 yards, and that has about as much future as being an Edsel salesman. On the other side of the line, the quarterback from Washington has carried the ball 3 times for 26 yards. Hatcher from Colorado has carried the football 8 times for a total of 19 yards. Whereas Colorado's only had 4 yards in lost yardage. They've been able to throw the ball. They've been able to run the option. They have been able to control the football. They have it for 16 minutes compared to only 14 for Colorado. Colorado was forced into more third down and long situation than they have in any football game this year. It's been a fine football game. It's a long ways from being over by any stretch of imagination, and hopefully we'll see a lot of fireworks on the field.
When we talked to Don James yesterday, he said you could look for about a 60-40 run-pass ratio. Hasn't quite been that, so perhaps you might see Washington open it up with a passing game a little bit more, very much like they did on that drive at the end of the first half. Toy and Trimble deep to receive. That's David Trimble. And as you can see, 413 yards on kickoff returns, ranks him very high on the Huskies' all-time list. End over end kick coming toward Trimble. Handles it at the 5-yard line, to the 10, to the 15. Slips by 2 men, gets the 20, gets to about the 24-yard line. Good effort by Trimble.
Good effort, fine coverage by Colorado. Most importantly, not a penalty such as they had last time when they had a good kickoff return. They will start on the 23-yard line. How well you play defense, Barry, to a large extent depends upon how wide open your offense is going to be. As long as they can contain the wishbone, as long as they remain ahead, they aren't going to make a foolish mistake such as an interception if they can possibly avoid it.
So the first offensive snap of the second half comes at about the 23-yard line. Now Chandler, the quarterback, very effective in the first half. Scott Jones goes in motion. Chandler, play fake. Rolls out all by his lonesome. He's got the whole field to run. 20, 25, 30, 35 out of bounds. First down, Huskies.
Colorado came out with a little bit wrinkle. This is something Don James loves to do, is come out and start the second half with something different. Here you're going to see they fake the off-tackle play, which they had run the entire first half. Then the quarterback, Chris Chandler, does a nice job. Good athlete, good speed. It was a run or pass option.
4 carries, 38 yards for Chandler. Gain of 12 on that one. First down, Huskies. Ball at the 36. In motion goes Jones, the tight end. Comes over to the other side now. Now they bring Franklin in motion to the near side. Pitch back this time. Here comes a reverse, and this is Lonzel Hill. He's got men out in front of him. Gets by the first man, 40, 45. Gets to about the 48-yard line. It'll be another first down for Washington.
Very well designed, an awful lot of movement, a lot of motion shifted. You probably wonder, well, why are they, here we're going to see it again. He pitches the ball back. Weathersby hands the football off here to Hill. You're going to see Weathersby at the top, just barely miss a block there, but Hill avoids him, picks up 11 yards. They're doing a lot of motion shifting, which causes Colorado to move.
Here's a look at Lonzel Hill, also very close to a clip there. Here's a handoff, or a pitch back. This time the second man, Weathersby, off the option, gets to midfield, gain of about 3 yards. Washington showing a lot of different looks here early on.
Well, they ran the option. Colorado did a fine job in bringing the corner back up. Very well designed defense against the option. It gets to be a guessing game many, many times, but when you're in the right defense and they gain 4 yards, that's when you have to say, hey, wait a minute. You know, it should be a no-gain play. We had it defensed well.
Numbers on Weathersby, 8 carries, 46 yards. A couple of big ones in the first half. Slot left this time. Hill in the slot, Trimble in motion. Chandler straight back. Out of the backfield, Weathersby. Midfield. And gets to about the 48-yard line. Looked like he might have gotten more than that, actually.
Well, the defense reacted very, very quickly. Here we're going to see an ISO on Remington, the linebacker. He's going to start to drop back here just slightly. And then the pass is thrown so quick He reacts over here. He does a good job of coming inside out. He does a good job inside out. The secondary's up there, just in very, very good position by Rodney Rogers.
So it'll be third down, about 5 now for the Huskies. Chandler, play fake. He'll go up. Goes for it all. Hill is open, and Chandler's just a little bit too long for him.
Just a shade. He ran a good post route. He had been hooking up in there quite often. The one pass that was intercepted where he broke across the middle. This time he faked in, took off, ran a post route, just barely overthrown. Chris is upset with himself. He says, hey, I had 6. It was a great call. 3rd and 5. Very seldom does somebody go deep on in that situation. He had him open, just didn't quite connect.
He had completed 6 in a row prior to that toss. Just a little bit long, very upset with himself. Sign of a good competitor. Cleland to do the punting. And a high end over end kick that Collins lets go, and it kicks into the end zone. Could have gone either way, but it kicked into the end zone. 47-yard punt. Touchback, and Colorado will put it in play at the 20-yard line.
Well, Chris is upset with himself there, you know, having an individual open and not hitting it. But at a time like that, the quarterback's got to come off and not question himself. Say, hey, gang, I'll get it the next time. You know, we had him open. He got open once. He can get open the next time. You give me the same protection. We'll convert it the next time.
So Colorado starts things now here. 10-7 ball game. By no means are the Buffaloes out of this one. Momentum on the side of Washington more or less at the end of the first half. Hatcher, the quarterback. Pitch back this time to Brown. Little room, 20. Hits the seam across the 25 to about the 27. A gain of about 7. Ron Milas finally makes the stop for Washington.
Well, this is a great play by Ron Milas. He was out there all by himself. There's Ron Brown that has such great speed, but it's a tremendous play by Milas to hold that to an 8-yard gain. I'm impressed that Colorado has not turned the football over. Usually an option football team is a high-risk ball offense.
Second down and 3. You saw that football. 1985 Freedom Bowl in it. Here's a handoff this time to the first man. There's nobody home there. And a fine defensive play that time on McCarty.
Here we're going to see it again. This is the first time that they have been in a 4-3 defense. David Reel comes over. That's the way they defensed Oklahoma last year. There's a good shot at Joe Kelly, the linebacker, senior from Los Angeles. But when they get in that 4-3 defense, that is a very effective way to play the wishbone. How much more they'll play, I don't know.
Joe Kelly, outstanding linebacker, and he can thank David Reel for that one, who has been all around the ball. And the give this time is to McCarty again, and he will be close to the first down. I believe he got it.
He got the first down there, picked up approximately 3 yards. For a wishbone team to be effective, they need to go 4, 5, 4, 7, 3, 8, 6. You cannot afford to go 9, 1, 0, 8, 2, because you cannot gain the consistency.
So the ball just over the 30-yard line now.
There's Ralphie. You think he's worried?
Just worried about his next meal. And that he isn't it. Here's a pitch back now, this time going to Mike Marquez, who's in the ball game for the first time, and Marquez gets it out across the 35-yard line. A gain of about 5 yards. Marquez, a sophomore, was a walk-on back in 1983, had been a defensive back.
This is a trap option, which they just ran there. Oklahoma runs it exceptionally well. But boy, the cornerback from Washington, Milas and particularly Vestige Jackson, are really playing super football. They're out there with 2 blockers, and they're warding them off and holding it to 5.
So it'll be second down and 6. They gave a gain of 4 on first down. This is Marquez again, and Marquez gets up across the 40, slips a tackle, 45, gets to midfield, runs into his own man, and is finally gang tackled right at the midfield stripe. A gain of 16, and a flag is down, and I believe we're going to get a personal foul here against the Washington Huskies, I believe.
It appears that way. Here you're going to see he breaks a tackle. It's just an isolation play off of a misdirection ISO. It's a base play in the wishbone. This young man does a good job of protecting his body in there. And pick it up here, see if we can pick up the personal foul at the end of it. Here it comes right up in here. On number 51, a little bit extra. 97, it matters not. 15 yards.
Against the defense. First down.
And it was Jim Matthews who was the guilty party. Matthews comes off, and we'll see if he hasn't been thrown out of the football game.
I don't believe so. It wasn't anything real flagrant. It wasn't anything deliberate. The young man's fighting for yardage, and you're saying, hey, we're going to push you back, and you get caught up in the emotion of the football game. The penalty like that can turn you on defensively.
8 penalties, and that was only in the first half. So this will be the 9th penalty for Washington. And he might have got the Huskies to jump again. We'll see if they weren't drawn. Free play for Hatcher over the middle, intercepted by Yates. And Yates comes back to 20-yard line, gets back to 25 and the 30, and down at about the 34-yard line. But now let's see who that infraction was on.
I believe it was on Washington for being offside. Boy, you want to talk about a great hit by Eric Coyle, their offensive center. You wonder why isn't he playing defense? That was a great time. Unfortunately, great interception here. Here we're going to see him jump offside. Can't quite get back. Coyle does a great job of snapping the football. It's a penalty instead of having the turnover. Once again, penalties come back to haunt Washington here. That is their 10th. I know Coach James keeps us poised, always in control of the situation, and that's the same thing you can say about Coach McCartney.
Offsides against the defense. 1st and 5.
Let's pause 5 seconds so the stations down the line can identify themselves. This is the Lower Mar Sports Network.
This is KCPQ, the college sports channel.
And that's exactly where a wishbone team wants to be. It's where any team wants to be. Hatcher straight ahead. First down for Hatcher, down to about the 23-yard line of the Huskies.
This is a very nice play. They fake the fullback, and the quarterback keeps it, but instead of coming down the line, you're going to see he comes back. They get across block with the guard and center. He hits the seam right there, breaks up inside. I would imagine we're going to see Washington go more to a 4-3 defense than what we've seen thus far. There's Mark Hatcher, the quarterback, as I said, threw the ball exceptionally well in high school.
4.5 speed, a lot of speed in the backfield for the Colorado Buffaloes. 4.29 speed by Brown. And this time Hatcher keeps it once more, but he's turned inside that time. Tony Dominguez, the first man to him, got help that time by Ron Hadley.
Fine inside-out pursuit. The linebackers, you can see David Real there. He's only a sophomore, an inside linebacker that really has a natural nose for the football. If you can't seal off the inside in the wishbone, it makes it a little bit difficult to execute on the corner unless you have outstanding speed. Here we see a picture of Coach James. He's finished 1st or 2nd in the Pac-10 8 of the last 9 years, and this year beat UCLA, which will be in the Rose Bowl, and Southern Cal.
It's interesting that when people talk about the power on the Pacific Coast, they talk about Southern California, and yet it's been all Don James. Flag before the snap, and Ron Hadley was the man who jumped, so that's going to be the 11th penalty.
Well, it might be on the tight end. He may have been drawn offside. I don't believe they're going to call it that way. The contact was made. See, the defensive end can move. The defensive end can move. He can start, come back. We cannot see it. They're calling it on Washington. Had that been an interior lineman, I think the penalty would have been on Colorado, but the contact was made by the defensive end.
You know, interesting thing that probably 2 of the biggest names defensively in this game were number 50, Dan McMillan, the outside linebacker for Colorado, number 51, Reggie Rogers, the defensive tackle for Washington, Lou, and I can't remember calling either one of their names.
Against the defense. 2nd down.
They're good football players, but sometimes the blocking scheme says, hey, these are the guys we got to block, and then it turns other people loose. There you see 10 penalties on Washington, only 3 on Colorado.
So it'll be 2nd down now, and just 4 yards to go. And this is a give this time to Smith. Smith trying to get outside, and the Huskies defend that perfectly. Just to elaborate a little bit on that item we were just talking about, Reggie Rogers and McMillan, between the 2 of them, according to our ace statistician, Dennis Medition, just 2 tackles, 1 apiece, Lou.
Here you see the isolation, but very well played inside. Force him outside. You can see how much speed Smith has as he goes outside, but cannot pick up an awful lot of yardage as Ron Milas plays it well. There's a good picture of Ron. Nice-looking young man.
So it'll be 3rd down and 4. Big play for the Buffaloes here. Fog, incidentally, starting to settle in. It's getting a little colder here. And Hatcher tries to keep it. Nothing doing.
It was the same play as previously, but very well defensed by Washington. As we mentioned at the top, both coaches are great defensive football coaches. They both have great staffs, both make outstanding adjustments. Now I think we're going to see a field goal attempt. After the last interception, I don't know when we'll see the next pass by Colorado.
33-yard field goal attempt for Larry Eckel. He is only 8 of 16 on the year, but inside of 40 yards, 7 of 8. Placed, kicked, on its way, got enough. It's good, and we have a tie ball game. So Eckel makes good on the 33-yarder. And with 8 minutes, 41 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter, little to choose between these two. We're tied at 10. We'll be back. Barry Tompkins and Lou Holtz with Jeff Witcher on the sidelines. We're tied at 10. 8:41 remaining third quarter. We'll remind you later in the second half we'll be selecting a Pontiac Most Exciting Player of the Game. Pontiac will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of that player's school. And that's going to be a tough choice right now, Lou.
Right now, I'm glad we don't have to make it now.
Eccles will kick it off. He'll be kicking to Trimble and Toy. Sounds like an insurance company, doesn't it? Trimble takes it at the 2, to the 5, to the 10. And down he goes the 15-yard line. Just tripped and fell at the 15.
That time they're trying to kick the ball into the left corner. And the crowd is so loud. It's down there on the Colorado end.
Flag on the field way back at the 40-yard line. May have offsides on Colorado, which would mean I would expect that the Huskies would have them kick it again.
Well, they definitely should, because as the ball was starting to be returned. Here, let's see if we can hear the official.
There's offsides against the kicking team.
Coach McCartney wants to know who was offside, which one, because you want to have a little conference with that young man. But what happened on the last one is it was down at the Colorado end at Barry, and when the young man caught the ball and started upfield, they could not hear the word go, 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 and his blockers did not move. There we see the young, I guess, Husky there, Sundogger. Now, I apologized before when I referred to Colorado's mascot as Ralphie. That is a female.
What's in the name?
Well, there's a lot in the name. I find that, you know, I don't want to be controversial, but I'm not very smart. So I just have to say what's on my heart. I use poor grammar, and I probably don't belong up here. But I must say, it's fun to watch.
The Buffalo lobby is going to be on you. Eccles to kick it off again. High end over end kick, headed toward Trimble. He'll handle this one about the 11. To the 15, to the 20. 25 gets a gap. He's the 40. He's the 45. One man to beat. Down he goes at about the 48-yard line.
There, they got it corrected. The timing was beautiful. On that kickoff return, it's only going to open. Here you're going to see it again. He hollers a go. They start up, get some great blocks, kick out. An excellent block coming right up through there by several people. Fine, fine job. The kicking game's so important. Instead of having the ball on the 14 because of a penalty, they're on their 47.
David Trimble from Yakima, Washington. 37 yards on that return. Great field position for the Huskies. We're tied at 10. A man up on the wing this time. And the give is to Fenney. And Fenney gets it over midfield about the 49-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 4. 9 plays, 64 yards, culminated by the 33-yard field goal by Larry Eckel. That's what tied it at 10.
Many times when it's a low-scoring game, people think, well, gee, there isn't much offense. But the reason it's low-scoring many times is the offense doesn't make many mistakes. Sure, we've had a lot of mistakes on penalties, but very few fumbles and only 1 interception.
Starting to come to the slot left. Now they bring Franklin in motion. And Chandler this time keeps it again, tucks it inside, has a first down and more, all the way down to the 34-yard line. Perfect execution.
This is a trap option. Is the young man Chandler, I don't know, has probably rushed for about 45 yards. You're going to see it again. He fakes a pullback up inside. The right guard pulls out of there. Tim Burnham gets a nice block. He tucks it up inside, almost breaks it free into the secondary. 5 carries so far, and predominantly with the option. They just mix it in enough to keep Colorado off balance.
First down over the 35 at about the 34-yard line. This time Weathersby on the wing. Chandler straight back. Throws over the middle. Tight end Jones. Great grab. First down at the 20-yard line of the Buffaloes.
Unbelievable grab and a tremendous hit. Just some great tackling by the secondary. Here we're going to see it again. You're going to see coming into the screen over there, Weathersby. It does a great job of picking up the blitzing linebacker. Jones makes a tremendous catch, and you can see Colorado arriving at the ball carrier with their pads out. So many great plays on both offense and defense in this game on the finer points of football. I wish we could elaborate.
14 yards on that one by Rod Jones. 55 catches on the year. This time it's Finney straight ahead to about the 16-yard line.
This is where it gets a little bit tougher. Colorado just a straight hit and play. The play calling of Washington is very, very good because the execution has been outstanding. We used to love the straight dive like that, Barry, because you gained 4 yards, but it didn't use that much film, and at William & Mary, we had a small budget.
Not to mention small guys. Balls the 17-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7. Call it a game of 3 on first down for Finney. Give this time to Weathersby. Bounces outside. Gets it down to the 10-yard line. He's at the 5-yard line. Fine effort by Vince Weathersby, the freshman from Los Angeles. Gain of 12.
Boy, you get some great blocking up there. We're going to see Kevin Grogan gets a block here along with Dan Agin, and he just does a great job. Good leg drive, keeps his feet going, gets all the way down to approximately the 5-yard line, first down. Now Colorado's going to go into their goal line defense. You've got to play great on the goal line if you're going to win a bowl game.
Great block by Egan, the center, on that last play. Straight ahead, this time close to the goal line is Covington. He'll be short.
If you'll remember, Barry, just before the half, when they scored, they faked it to the fullback, ran a power. This time, they gave it to the fullback with good, strong power. He got down to approximately the 6-inch line. Always amazes me how the guy can have eyesight that strong to say he missed or his knee touched about 2 inches away.
So it'll be 2nd down goal, and as you mentioned, Lou, just a few inches away.
You worry about the quarterback center exchange here.
Full house backfield, fullback, touchdown, Finney.
Great blocking up front on the right side. Tim Burnham, along with Agent, as I mentioned. Tremendous drive. That's what you talk about momentum. They say you answer a challenge. They came down, scored, you come back. Here we're going to see it again. See how low they get. One of the axioms in football is low man wins. The ball carrier in Washington was lower. They won the contest.
And I'll correct myself right now. It's Covington, not Finney. Tony Covington, redshirt freshman, number 39, into the end zone for the score. Jager to try the extra point out of the hole with Chandler. Impressive drive for the Huskies. Snap, place, kick, and good. So with Jager's conversion, the Huskies have gone on top by 7. They lead the Colorado Buffaloes 17-10. 5 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and we'll be back right after this. (17-10) ball game right now. Washington, with that fine drive, has gone on top of Colorado by 7 points. As we look down at the stadium from the Goodyear blimp, the airship Columbia, its pilot Tom Mattis, our cameras, Boog Powell up there. And there's a look at the Goodyear blimp outlined in lights. Perfectly clear night.
I've always wanted to ride on the Goodyear blimp.
I'll bet you could probably arrange that.
I'm not sure. I've always wanted to go for a ride on it. Ever since I used to change tires in a gas station, I guess.
I did it one time. It really is quite an experience.
Oh, I can imagine it would be.
So Jager will kick it off. He'll be kicking to Alexander and Collins. They haven't returned one yet. In fact, only 15 of Jager's kicks this year have been returned at all. None tonight. And this one, no exception.
Boy, it scares you. There's nothing that's more frightening than to see a great kickoff return man get a ball in an open field. And we've seen tonight how good a field position Washington's got because they've generated some fine kickoff returns.
And you can see some numbers that pretty much tell you the tenor of this football game.
Well, 254 yards, but the thing that's encouraging to Colorado is they're only one score away. 7 plays, 53 yards.
And they took it right in the last time they had the ball. So let's see what the Buffaloes can do now. They trail by 7. Hatcher will go up. pump fake. Now he throws out of the backfield. Bounce pass intended for Sam Smith. Those are good in basketball, not too good in football.
Well, it's a very poorly thrown football, but you cannot really fault Hatcher. What he was trying to do, he was trying to come down and hit his split end. Loy Alexander on a curl pattern, just as he did. Joe Kelly came underneath the curl. If you remember, they hit it on 3rd down and 10 previously. Once Kelly recognized pass, and then Hatcher was forced to go to a swing back, incomplete.
2nd down and 10 now for the Buffalo. Hatcher will keep this time. 20, 25 to about the 26. Let's go down to the sidelines now. Jeff Witcher. Jeff?
Get ready. Okay, we want to even things out. We had the Washington Husky cheerleaders. Now we have the Colorado Buffalo cheerleaders, and they've got one for you. Go ahead, gang.
And the answer is Colorado. I got that. I figured that one out. Here's Smith on a pitch back now. 20, 25, out of bounds about the 26-yard line. A gain of a yard, no more than that.
Penalty flag down here. Barry, that time Hatcher did a little bit different job. He just pitched the ball and then decided to block for Smith, but there's a penalty on 3rd down and 4. Might have a holding penalty on this.
And I think that is going to be the call.
I'm sure it'll be declined by Washington because it brings up 4th down and forces a punt. Washington's doing a good job against that trap option and misdirection option of stringing it out and making them run east-west, and you only get credit for the yards you run north and south.
Decline, 4th down.
Barry Helton in punt formation.
And so they will have to punt it away. This will be Helton to do the punting. He's a big part of this Colorado football team. 10-man front shown by Washington, but they'll play run back. End-over-end kick headed from Milas. Fair catch called for at the 32.
Boy, you better have the Blint move over when he punts.
42 yards on that punt by Helton. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. Huskies with the lead and the ball, and we'll be back right after this. Barry Tompkins and Lou Holtz with Jeff Witcher. We're at Anaheim Stadium. This is the Freedom Bowl. Washington on top 17-10. They have the ball back off a 42-yard punt by Barry Helton, and they'll have it 1st down and 10 at the 32-yard line. Well, more bowl coverage coming your way from Lorimar, the Bluebonnet Bowl from Houston on New Year's Eve. 11-1 Air Force Falcons playing the Texas Longhorns. All takes place 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. The best from Lorimar. 1st down now for the Huskies. 7-point lead. Trimble in motion. Pitch back this time, and they fake the reverse. And coming ahead with the ball is David Toy to about the 35-yard line. A gain of about 3 yards. Just a variation on a theme.
Well, Rodney Rogers wasn't pulled out by it, but I will say this. Had they run the reverse, the young man might have still been running. Might also behoove us at this time to notice that Craig Keenan, the backup quarterback, 6'2", 295-pound senior for Colorado, is loosening up on the sideline. We may see him when Colorado gets the ball back.
Into 3 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 7. Chandler this time rolls to his right. Has a lot of time. Throws over the middle. And what a grab by Hill. Ball was thrown behind him. That's a pro catch right there.
That's all pro catch. I mean, this is incredible. What a catch. He's going one way. What body control and concentration. His feet slipped out. Tremendous reception there by Thrill Hill. 4 receptions, 48 yards, most of them in critical situations.
That's the way he's played his whole season, too. Ball at the 42-yard line. Toy comes in motion. Chandler straight back to pass. Has a lot of time. Throws for Toy on a hitch pattern. Toy at the 40, slips a man, 45, gets to midfield. Covington. It was Covington with the reception to midfield. Down to the sideline now, Jeff Witcher. Jeff?
Well, thank you very much, Barry. These are the beautiful trophies that will be awarded after the game to the participants of this 2nd annual Freedom Bowl. Take a look. These are beauties. Right now, Washington leading, and it's a heck of a football game. Let's go back upstairs to Barry and Lou.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Ball at midfield. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Gain of 8 on first down by Covington. And this is Covington once more for the first down. Flag is down.
The flag's going to be down. We had movement by Mike Zandowski, who has really played awful well up front. Moved just prior to the snap of the ball. I think it's going to be 5-yard penalty against Washington.
And once more, the penalty bug biting the Washington Huskies.
You hate to say I told you, but we had talked about this yesterday, and I said you never know in a bowl game the rhythm, the timing, a variety of things.
Illegal procedure against the offense. Second down.
He's going to be able to get on the commercial till you know my face. He's been on TV so much tonight.
So the ball at the 45, it'll be 2nd and 7 now. And Chandler this time keeps, tucks it inside, midfield, 45, 40, down to the 35-yard line. First down, Huskies. 20 yards for Chris Chandler.
Well, Chandler had just been coming down the line, handing the football off to the fullback. Here he fakes the fin, he comes outside, gets a tremendous block here by, I believe it's Zandowski. Chandler makes a great run, breaks a tackle. Colorado has fine pursuit, picks up 17 yards. Great block there, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Mike Zandowski.
Zandowski, and also a fine block downfield by the tight end Rod Jones. Chandler, you saw the numbers on him, 6 carries, 73 yards. Calling a brilliant game. Trimble in motion. Chandler straight back to pass. He's completed 9 of his last 10. Throws, comebacker, and I put the jinx on him, didn't I?
Well, they've gotten 73 yards on the option, which they did not expect to get out of Chandler. They're not an option football team. They run it just enough at the critical time. But here you see real good pressure on the preceding play, and that's a thing that Colorado has done. They had 88 hurried throws by their defensive football team. Here you see 19 and 4 in years when Haley's Common is visible. You have to go back. The last time it was Colorado went undefeated. They lost 4 games this year.
That's right. Chandler pitched this time to Torrey. He's got a great block. He's in the open for the moment. Gets it down to the 25. And I'll tell you, that was a saving tackle by Kyle Rappold. Gain of 12.
Tremendous job here on the blocking, the execution. You're going to see that they get the block here from the fullback. Excellent block there by the lead blocker there. Covington makes a block. Burnham gets out in front, makes a fine run there by David Toy. He's only a sophomore. Boy, Washington's going to be good. They are good. Let me change that.
Chandler a sophomore, Weathersby a freshman, Covington a freshman, Toy a sophomore.
He's checking here.
Hill a junior, Franklin a sophomore. So a lot of the skill people are back. And it gave us the Toy to about the 24-yard line.
Here's Haley's comment for Washington Huskies. They were 19 and 5. Now, I might add this. Both teams were undefeated the last time Haley's comment was visible. Now, I don't know about you, but it's still invisible to me. I can't see. Of course, I do wear glasses.
You weren't coaching then, though, were you?
No, I sure wasn't. Got a little timeout here.
Still plenty of time in this football game for the Buffaloes to get back in it, but Mo right now, I'd have to say, Coach, on the side of the Huskies.
Well, the momentum is a very fickle thing. It can leave you in a hurry like an interception run all the way back. I'm sure what Coach James is saying to him right now is, son, we got 3 on the board. That would put us ahead by 10 points, which would take 2 scores. I might also pay special tribute to the Colorado fans and the Washington Husky fans. Here we see some of the cheerleaders. The excitement in the lobbies was really outstanding. Everybody is excited about the football game, and to see the way they back their team, that's what college athletics is all about. I know they've had a great time. They've gone to Knoxbury Farms. They've gone to Disney World. And when they went over to Disney World, Mickey Mouse didn't look and say, now, which bowl are you from? It's just a great experience for these young men. It's something they'll remember the rest of their life. For the seniors of Colorado, the first bowl game they've been in. For the seniors of Washington, they're going to leave and say, hey, we were in 4 of them. Carry on the tradition.
I think another point to make, too, is that both these teams are very young teams. You talked about the Huskies and the fact that all their skill people are back. You look up and down the lineup of the Colorado Buffaloes, and they are loaded with sophomores. We'll talk more about that. Second down and 9 now for the Huskies. Ball at the 24-yard line. Chandler straight back. Here's that little shovel pass to Troy. 20, 15, 10, 5, down about the 3, fumble the ball. And And the Buffaloes got it.
No, they're going to rule he was down. The ground cannot cause a fumble here, Barry. It was a little shovel pass, got some great blocking from up front. He did fumble the ball. They ruled he was down. Let me go back here. We're going to see it again here. Chandler drops back, just flips the ball straight ahead here. Gets some great blocking. You're going to see it coming up right here by the offensive guard and tackle. Now he has the ball. He hits the ground. The ball bounced out after he hits. Good call.
Ball at the 3-yard line. Well executed play once more by the Huskies. They give you a lot of different looks. First down and goal. Chandler will put it up. Looks to the end zone. Throws deep to the end zone. Jones, but I believe he was out of the end zone.
He was out of the end zone. They tried to fake into the line and come out on a play-action pass, but Jones had trouble getting off the line of scrimmage. He was going to fake a block. They did a good job of keeping him on the line of scrimmage. Here you see him fake it inside. Come on out, get a good block. Jones has trouble getting off. Then when he's open, he leads him in there. Pretty well defended. Chandler had to lob the ball up over John Narn, and Jones came down out of bounds.
Chandler actually threw the ball. If anybody was going to catch it, it was going to be Jones. Second man this time. Troy is going to be short.
Very fine defensive play up front. You've got to create a new line of scrimmage up front if you're going to play well on the goal line, and this time Colorado did. I think one of the most difficult offenses to defend is a straight power T, which is what Washington runs. Where at Ohio State, Woody Hayes loved that formation. That's what he used to call 7 yards in a cloud of dust. You can see a full house backfield as he referred to it.
Might be the last play of the quarter if they get this one off, and they do. And they're going to be stopped short. A fumble in there. Let's see who's got it. Scramble for the ball. No signal yet. Believe the Huskies retain possession. And that will be the last play of the third quarter. And the Huskies will be looking at a third down when the fourth quarter starts. Make that fourth down when the fourth quarter starts. And so Don James and his coaching staff will have a little bit of a decision to make. We have come to the end of 3 quarters of football. Don James calling his quarterback over to chat with him. The Huskies lead at 17-10. We have 15 minutes of football left, and the Huskies will be looking at a fourth down and goal when we come back. 15 minutes of football left, 17-10 game. Don James has decided to go for the field goal. Lou, agree or disagree?
Well, I personally would let the defense make that call and the offense say, hey, can you make it? And if we don't make it, can you stop them? But what's important about this will put them up by at least 2 scores. In other words, 1 touchdown won't beat them right now.
18-yarder chip shot for Jaeger. Snap, place, kick, good. No problem there. So on the first play of the final period, the Huskies have put 3 more points up, and Jaeger has added another field goal. His 22nd game in which he's had at least 2 field goals in a football game. So it's 20-10 now, and it'll be uphill for the Buffaloes from here.
Well, that's a little bit difficult to overcome when you're in a wishbone, but you're still going to get the ball 2 or 3 more times. What you have to do is say, hey, we got to make something happen on defense. Personally, you got the ball down on the 1-yard line. I probably would have kicked it if I was down on the sideline, but you're up here, you said, hey, let's go for it. If we can't make a yard, we don't deserve to win the football game. We look at the stat. Here, Colorado only has 111 yards, whereas Washington has 321 yards. But what's really interesting is the tremendous amount of yardage that the quarterback has run for from Washington. They've really executed the option exceptionally well. And talking to Coach James, he said, hey, we're going to run the option, not completely next year, but we feel we have to have it in there in order to move the football.
Well, it was interesting when I asked Don James last night, as you look at Jeff Jaeger, second on the Huskies' all-time scoring list. Very impressive. When I asked Don James last night about Chandler, the very first thing he said to me was he can run. He was right. At the 5, this is Collins, 10, 15. Alexander to the 20, 30, 35, and about the 36-yard line.
Well, we had just gotten done saying how exciting it is not to kick it deep in the end zone. And boy, just a tremendous run back. Here we see some of the crowd. Here you're going to see the some real fine blocks as he starts up. He breaks to the outside, gets some excellent block. Boy, he has outstanding speed. Just great quickness. Loy Alexander, the wide receiver. Boy, he is exciting. He's a senior. He may have a future.
Nickname is Quick Six, but oddly enough, Quick Six didn't score this year. Deep Six, I think. So they're at the 36-yard line, I beg your pardon. Starting with the Wishbone trailing by 10. Fullback this time, straight ahead, nothing doing.
Well, a key matchup in the offensive line is on the guards when you run a 4-3 defense. Washington's running the 4-3 defense, which may not mean much to the common individual, but it means an awful lot if you run the option because it presents some problems. The middle linebacker gets a chance to move down the line laterally to the ball. David Real must have 15, 17 tackles already.
Have to consider him and the most exciting player, certainly. Real is having a brilliant football game. Here's a give this time to Marquez. Marquez has a little room, gets across midfield down to the 47. So let's not count the Buffaloes out quite yet. 14 yards for Marquez.
Anytime here you're going to see a misdirection, a fake to the fullback. Smith comes in here, gets a block on the linebacker. Marquez really is a good physical runner. Notice how he keeps his feet moving, fights to keep his balance. There you see a picture of him, a sophomore. Teams don't get to bowl games unless they've learned to overcome adversity.
Chris Symington, 71, the right guard offensively, fine block on the last effort. Hatcher this time, down the line, keeps it, 45, down about the 43-yard line, gain of about 4. Here's Ely making a good block up front.
There's a picture of the Colorado bench. And they've been in this situation before. They believe in themselves. All good football teams believe in themselves, believe in their teammates. And say, hey, we'll get it. I'm sure there isn't anybody on Colorado's team right now that thinks 20 points is going to win this football game. They're saying, oh, well, we have to score twice, and we're going to be right in the lead.
So it'll be second and long 5 now for the Buffaloes. This time Hatcher keeping, turns it upfield, gets the 40, be about a yard short of the first down, at about the 38-yard line of the Huskies.
What is happening in this, I think they may have to measure, although I believe it's going to be short. But what's happening on this option, Barry, is they're forcing Hatcher off the line. He's coming down there running that option about 3 or 4 yards deep, and then he has to come back to the line, and by the time he gets to the line, the pursuit is there. If he can operate down that line a little bit more, those 4 and 5 yard gains are going to start turning into 11 and 12.
Third and short now for the Buffaloes. Big play here. Although you have to figure they would go for it on 4th down. And to give this time to Marquez, got room, gets the 30-yard line, down about the 28. First down, Colorado.
Just a little misdirection once again, taken to the fullback, and now Colorado's breaking into the secondary, and if you just can break one tackle, here you're going to see it again. But boy, Smith is just doing some fine blocking up front, as well as the entire offensive line for Colorado. They understand that they've got to answer the call. They understand they've got to get up off the ground and get something on the board here, and they've responded exceptionally well.
First down and 10, the ball at the 29-yard line now. Buffalo's on the move. Here's a reverse, little pitch reverse this time to Alexander. Alexander's going to throw it, and he does, wide open, and dropping the ball was Mike Marquez at the 2-yard line. And he will dream about that tonight.
Well, the young man has played exceptionally well. He's ran well. That can happen. I haven't seen anybody ever play the football game and then drop one of these. Here you see the reverse. Boy, he gets a great block over here. You're going to see it coming up here, right there by number 75. The ball's thrown here. He just doesn't quite look it in. Slides through his hand. But as I say, everybody has dropped that ball before. That's nothing unusual. James Webb is the young man that made the block.
So it's just nothing more than second and 10, and the Buffaloes will just have to go do it again. Pitch this time going to Brown. Brown trying to get outside the block. And what a block by Smith, even though Brown got turned around.
Well, Smith made a great block, but once again they stretched it to the sideline. He couldn't turn up. Going to bring up 3rd down and long, but getting back once again to the drop pass by Mike Marquez. That happens. I've seen Boyd Dollar, I've seen Raymond Berry, I've seen them all drop. You just have to put that behind you. He didn't want to drop it. That's all part of it. But then momentum has a tendency to go down. That's when you got to say, hey, forget it. That's over. There isn't a thing we can do about it. 3rd and 13. What are we going to do now? That's the key. What are we going to do now? We're going to fold our 10 or are we going to convert it?
Well, we're going to find out right now. As Collins came onto the play from Bill McCartney. And straight back to pass is Hatcher. Big rush. Hatcher throws over the middle. And unable to hang on, coming across was the underman. And that was JoJo Collins. So it'll be 4th down now. And 13.
JoJo was wide open. I know Hatcher hadn't thrown the ball very well this entire year, but he's got a good throwing motion. He's got a strong arm. All he has to do is just relax a little bit, throw it a little bit smoother. Don't try to throw it as hard. You don't care if it spirals, goes end over end, just so it's complete. That's all that matters.
49-yard field goal try for Larry Eckel. He is only 1 of 8 over 40 yards. It's a fake. And looking for the end zone, one-on-one, the tight end, touchdown to John Embry.
Very well covered, very well defended. It was not surprised. Alan James, it just went over his outstretched hand. The big thing was how much time they had to protect and throw it. As I say, 3rd and 13, 4th and 3rd, what are you going to do now? Forget the pass. Let's get on with the ball game. This is great. Here we're going to see a replay. Notice how he puts the ball down, and that's so that the people rushing will go at that angle. Here he's got all kind of time. Now he's going to find Embry in the end zone. Allen's in good position, goes up just over his head, catches the football. Good. I wondered why the fans were cheering. They got replay out there.
And here's the try for point. It is up and good. It's a 20-17 ball game. I want to point out one other thing, Lou. The man who threw the ball was not a quarterback. It was the punter, Barry Helton.
Maybe he shouldn't be the punter. He threw that thing exceptionally well. Here you see Embry breaking out and then turning up. Allen reacts pretty well. Just misjudges it a minute. Great concentration by Embry. Looks it in.
And so a touchdown. It's not so much how you do it, it's the fact that it just gets done, and it did. Washington leads it, but only by 3. 20-17 ball game on Barry Tompkins with Coach Lou Holtz, Jeff Witcher on the sidelines. 3-point ball game, Coach.
Barry, I want to make this point. I don't care who wins the game. It's a great game. I'm just trying to be fair to both sides. Please don't write me and say you favored the other side.
Tommy Toy, a disclaimer from the coach. They're about the 24-yard line.
I always hear that every time our team played on TV. I always had the fans say, boy, they weren't very fair to us. And boy, we have 2 well-coached teams, 2 great young football teams that are playing exceptionally hard, giving us a great game. 9 plays, 64 yards, 3 minutes, 52 seconds. The key, Helton to Embry, 31 yards for the touchdown. They have field goal there, but that was a touchdown. Off the fake field goal.
So the Huskies now will have to get it going as again Mo has switched to the side of the Colorado Buffaloes. Huskies have been consistent on the offense in the second half. Chandler straight back over the middle. Open was Jones, but Chandler threw probably the first bad pass he's thrown tonight.
Well, they had a blitz on and felt that they had to get something good, get the momentum, pick up a first down. They had a good call on. It's just that he was overthrown. Here you see some of the enthusiasm with some of the college students and the Colorado fans. They came down here to California and they've really enjoyed it. It's been a great homecoming because Washington and Colorado both recruit this state very heavily. A lot of athletes coming home to play.
2nd down and 10 meanwhile for the Huskies out of the I formation now. Penny and Weathersby, Weathersby the up back. And this is Weathersby, slips by the first man, but is cracked down. A loss of about 3 yards. Fine defense led by Kyle Rappold and Barry Remington, the inside linebacker, who's in the midst of a big game as well.
Well, that time Colorado really gambled and blitzed 9 people. They brought the strong safety as well as a weak corner, and there just wasn't anywhere to go. It was a big play. It brings up 3rd down and 12, and as you said, this is critical. Now Washington just has to keep their poise, and they have the offense they can convert.
Chandler straight back to pass on 3rd and a bunch. Throws over the middle, and somebody got a hand on it. It was almost intercepted by Lyle Dickens, but somebody got a hand on it before it ever got to Dickens. Intended receiver was Darrell Franklin, and let's take another look. Somebody touched it.
I think you're going to see Don DeLuzio gets his hand on it here as he just barely gets his hand up, number 49, and it's almost picked off then as Lyle Pickens comes in and barely loses.
And so Cleland will come on to do the punting. And again, we can't emphasize enough that Cleland has been blocked on a couple of occasions in crucial situations. Collins, the deep man, he's already had a good return. And they will play run back. Kind of a low kick. Collins will have a little bit of room at the 40. Here's a reverse. And a reverse coming to Dickens. And Dickens cannot get around the Washington defense. They played it very well.
They ran a reverse. They had the wall set up, except Washington stayed in their lanes. Very well disciplined. Played it well.
Only a 3-yard return off a 39-yard punt, but good field position for the Colorado Buffaloes. They trail by 3, and they have the ball. (20-17) ball game. 10:05 remaining to be played, and a shot once more looking down at Anaheim Stadium from the Goodyear blimp. You know, the blimp travels over 100,000 miles a year. This will make it 100,001.
I hope they get good gas mileage.
Washington, incidentally, over its last 6 plays, -1 yard. So the Buffaloes defense really doing the job. Now we'll look at the O's. And the give this time is to Marquez. He gets it across the 45, about the 46. Well, there's a gain of about 4 yards on virtually nothing. Let's go to the sidelines to Jeff Witcher. Jeff?
Thank you very much, Barry. I believe that Coach Holtz earlier said that emotion or momentum can be very fickle. And I think earlier when Colorado scored that last touchdown, you could feel some of the air come out of Washington's balloon here on the sideline. And momentum is a very big part of football, as is emotion. Let's go back upstairs to Barry and Lou.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. 2nd down and 5. A gain of 5 on 1st down, and you credit the offensive line with that 5 yards. Give this time to the fullback. 1st down, Witherspoon across the 45 of the Huskies.
Oh boy, you talk about rhythm and coming off the football, and this is a wishbone. Getting the ball to the fullback, being physical, making things happen. When you run the wishbone, your defense is usually better and more physical, not because of any other reason except to eliminate the football players that aren't physical. But this is just wishbone football now. And that's the type of personnel that Colorado has and the type they have played the best.
1st down at the 45-yard line of the Huskies. Buffalo's on the move. Hatcher gives to Marquez this time. Tries to get outside. Can't. Hadley has him. Fine play by the outside linebacker, number 59, Ron Hadley.
When you talk about team defense and everybody has their position to play, you're going to see a replay. Hadley just holds his position right here, takes the blocker on, keeps his outside arm free, counts on his teammates to kick the ball out to him. He's in a position to make a perfect play. There you see a picture run. Anytime you find a great play, it's because he did his job and the other players did theirs.
6'1", 236, good size for an outside backer. 2nd down and 10. And a give to the fullback this time, and he gets 1 or 2. Witherspoon diving ahead.
Fine play by the defensive front. They're slanting the inside people a little bit. There's what America's all about. You talk about little youngsters there. Beautiful children. And I don't think there are enough people that really take their children to ball games and spend time with them, Barry. The average father will spend less than 30 minutes alone with a child a week. What greater place than to bring them here like to the Freedom Ball and let them have a great time and spend time. Coach McCartney wants timeout.
Saw something he didn't like.
I tell you what he didn't like. 3rd and 9.
I think that's probably exactly what he didn't like.
3rd and 9. There he's going to have a little bit of a conversation.
Well, that's just the first time out. Colorado will have 2 left. Could become important as we head down the stretch. Washington leads the Buffaloes 20-17. Buffaloes on the move. Barry Tompkins with Lou Holtz. Jeff Witcher on the sideline. Washington leads it 20-17. 7 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in this football game. And this one absolutely not over. Later in the game, of course, we're going to have to select Pontiac's most exciting player of the game. Pontiac will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of that player's school. We say have to because it is going to be very difficult. Buffalo's looking at a 3rd and 8. Big play here. And an inside handoff to Marquez, and he's going to be close to the 1st down.
Tremendous job of blocking. I think he got the 1st down where the momentum is. Fine run by Marquez. Great determination. Here you're going to see him fake to the fullback, one side. Now, previously, Smith had been leading him up inside the block. This time, it was just a complete misdirection. Got some fine blocking there from, I believe it was James Webb. I think we're going to find he got the 1st down.
And that's an outstanding call, but I tell you, that takes some guts. 3rd and 8.
Well, you have to count on, the flow of the defense to take themselves out of position, but it was just some fine blocking. I think that fine call. I know Washington's a little bit upset about a few things that happened on that play, but that's part of football.
So Hatcher over center again, straight ahead he goes, down to about the 28-yard line. Talk to us about that one.
Well, what this is when you leave the center uncovered, which is what Colorado's doing, they're covering both guards, then you're just going to see the quarterback and the center are the only two that go. The guards don't move at all, so the defense doesn't move, whereas if the guards fired out, the defense would be able to react back in. So it's what you call a little quarterback sneak. It's a good way to get 6 yards.
Now, was that the play that, I'll talk to you about this after, but I'm just curious if that's not the center who makes that play. Hatcher over center once more, and gives it this time to the fullback, and he gets a yard, maybe 2. Is it the center who makes that play?
No, what it does, the quarterback, if he puts his hands up and gives you real hard pressure or some kind of signal, that means there isn't going to be any kind, you snap the ball, we're going straight ahead. You do it with your hand position. Last play here, just previously, great shot there, Coach McCartney. Colorado went into an unbalanced, Washington overshifted, they went back to the weak side. Now they're back into a balanced offense. I think you can see a run.
3rd down and 3 now for the Buffaloes. And here is Marquez again. 1st down and more to the 15, down to the 12-yard line.
Yeah, they get some fine blocking there on the right side. Just good power, hard-nosed football. Here you're going to see it again. You can see the right guard come off there. Chris Symington, tremendous job, tremendous hole. He breaks it up inside. Zachary comes over, makes a touchdown-saving tackle, or else he delayed the touchdown. Only the future will ascertain which comment's appropriate.
Offensive line really doing the job. They call them the Mules at Colorado, and the Mules are getting it done right now. 15 yards on that last play. Fullback once more, straight ahead and getting about 5 more. Anthony Weatherspoon.
What is interesting is approximately 60 or 46% of the fullback's yardage they gained this year, which was approximately 1,000, was gained after the initial hit. Here he picked up 5 yards, I'll promise you. 4 of them was after the initial hit. I mean, he is strong.
Gain of 5 on 1st down, and you got to credit the offensive line. Ryan, Ely, Coyle, Symington, and Webb. They are really getting it done up front, along with the tight end Embry. This is Marquez once more. Marquez fighting off tacklers down to the 2. Might have fumbled the ball. And I think the Huskies have it, unless they say the ground caused the
I don't believe it's a fumble. Huskies took it. Unfortunately, Marquez made a great run, gave it a great effort, fumbled the football. I know he's disappointed. Great break. Here we're going to see it again. I believe he's carrying the ball up in here. Tremendous effort. As the ball's out, hard to tell, but obviously whenever in doubt, it's a fumble. And that's a great break for Washington. But by the same token, we'll be back.
Tough night for Marquez. 20-17 ball game. 5 minutes, 1 second remaining. It ain't over till it's over. We'll be back. There's the story, 20-17. Washington on top of Colorado. They have just had benefit of a fumble by Marquez at about the 3-yard line. Tough break for a fine athlete. Well, the Anaheim Hilton Towers puts you right next to Disneyland with the finest in service and accommodations. Marquez came back from that drop pass before Lou. You have the feeling he'll come back from this.
He'll come back from this, but here's where we find out a little character. Full house.
Straight ahead, first man, fullback Covington across the 5. Might have gotten as far as the 7-yard line. Gain of we'll call it 4.
Boy, this is really 2 football teams with an awful lot of character and an awful lot of pride. I mean, Washington knows they got to bring the ball out from here. They've got to maintain field position by controlling the football.
Full house backfield on 2nd down. Gave Covington 5 on that 1st down play, and straight ahead once more, the fullback. That's a couple more. It'll be 3rd and about 3.
This is going to be a little bit more difficult right here, but this is going to be absolutely critical. As I say, Marquez will come back. He's only a sophomore, and he runs with great enthusiasm. He has a natural knack for picking the right holes, good leg drive. If Washington can get a first down here, they are going to be in good position.
4 minutes remaining, 3rd and 3, big play. Second man outside, Toy, nothing doing. Great defensive effort that time. Barry Remington, who's been in the Huskies backfield all day with help from Solomon Wilcots. Let's pause 5 seconds now so stations can identify themselves. This is the Lower Mar Sports Network.
This is KCPQ, the college sports channel.
Tackle was jammed. He broke it to the outside. Remington came right back up here. You're going to see him fake to the fullback, hand to the far back. It breaks it outside there. Remington, the cornerback, there equally as well. Makes a nice play.
He's made many nice plays this night. Out of his end zone now, Cleland gets it away and just barely gets it away. Collins waits the 48. The 45 steps out of bounds.
Not only was it a fine kick, he kicked it on the sideline, which made it almost impossible to get much of a run back on.
So the Buffaloes will have it in good field position. Little discussion on the sideline there. McCartney might have wanted a late hit. 20-17, the Buffaloes will have it when we come back. 20-17 ball game on Barry Tompkins with Lou Holtz. Jeff Witcher's on the sidelines, and we are watching a tremendous football game with the Buffaloes now another opportunity.
We said at the top of the show, Barry, that there were two great defenses. Colorado's defense answered the challenge, had them pinned back up, didn't let them get a first down, forced a punt, have the ball on their end of the 50. Their chances of scoring for Colorado are 1 out of 3 from this field position.
Ball at the 45-yard line. Hatcher this time will put it up, in trouble, steps up, he'll run, no place to go, down at the 46, loss of 2.
Very fine coverage down there, good elusiveness by Hatcher, couldn't get the ball off rapidly enough, and I'm sure that Washington feels comfortable on 2nd and 11. In other words, the option is capable of going 45 yards on one play. It's not a case where you've got to grind it out. So that's what gives you some problems on defense. You don't know if they're going to run or throw it in this situation.
2nd down 11. They've gone misdirection in this instance. Now they bring Brown out of the backfield. And they'll go up. Hatcher with time this time. Downfield, Brown, foot race, bumping down there. No flag. Brown wants a flag, but he won't get it.
He wants the flag. Brown has such great speed. Came down. They tried to roll the corner up. Brown got by him. You're going to see him coming. There's just a little bit of contact here, and I think what they're going to say is the ball wasn't catchable. It's a little bit questionable. If you happen to be for Washington, you say, boy, that's a great call there. There you see a picture of Tony Zachary was involved. If you happen to be for Colorado, you say, hey, it should have been pass interference. But to me, when the game's in doubt, the official has to go with his heart, which is what he does, and we now have 3rd and 11.
I don't care who wins, but I thought it was interference, for whatever it's worth. 3rd down 11. Inside handoff Marquez, but this time the Huskies are there.
Now it brings up a critical 4th down and 8 in this situation. You know, that's what's great about football. Is everybody can sit home and say, I would have done this, I would have done that, should have done this, should have done that. On 4th down and 8, what would you do? I think Coach McCartney's already got it selected. He's going to run the wishbone.
And run is the key word here.
Now he breaks the bone.
They bring Brown to the near side. 4th down and 8. Hatcher pitch back. And trying to get outside, but with no place to go, was Sam Smith. And so the Huskies will take over.
Get a picture of the Washington bench. You tell me they didn't want to win. You tell me they aren't emotional. That whole bench erupted there on 4th down. They are excited. They played hard. Here you go. See, notice how Hatcher's forced back off the line. He's 5 yards deep when he pitches the ball. That gives your defense time to come up. You're forcing them to run east-west. You pin them in on the sideline where they can't possibly avoid it. There's Ron Hadley, the linebacker senior from Boise, Idaho.
Let's give credit to a few of the Washington Husky defenders. Hadley has had a brilliant game. David Rill has had a fine game. And Ron Milas, a tremendous ball game. The down 3 we haven't heard too much from, nor have we heard too much from their outstanding linebacker, Joe Kelly. But Rill, Hadley, and Milas, all on the right side, have really gotten it done. The executive producer of Lower Mar Sports is Keith Samples. The coordinating producer, Jimmy Rayburn. Tom Satursky produced tonight's contest. The director was Doug Freeman. Associate producers Glenn Gergiolo, Dave Olmsted, John Humphrey, and Mark Solomon. The technical director, Larry Myers. And the rest of a very fine crew. Special thanks, incidentally, to our assistant director, Paul Vogel, with help up in the booth. Dennis Mnuchin, our fine statistician. Dick Quinlan made the trip down from Northern California, do the spotting for us as always. Bay Area mobile tape. As always, outstanding facilities here. And Broadcast Reynolds of Burbank, California. We talk about David Rill defensively for Washington having a fine game. I'd say these numbers are pretty impressive.
Well, 17 tackles. That is outstanding. Washington just doesn't turn the ball over here now. They want to keep the clock running, force Colorado to use up their timeouts. They use up one. They'd used up one previously. If my memory serves me correctly, they only have one timeout left. There you see some of the despondents on the Colorado bench, but hey, there'll be other days, there'll be better days. It was a tribute to get here. Not everybody can get to a bowl. The extra practice, and I tell you what, it doesn't matter where you are, losing hurts. Unfortunately, Loy Alexander is a senior. This will be his last game. He played very, very well. I know he felt he could get open. They couldn't get the ball to him from time to time. But that's the unselfishness that brings the football team together. That's what got Colorado here. I don't think you can pay enough tribute to Coach McCartney, the Colorado fans, and certainly the entire administration of Colorado. The same thing with the University of Washington.
Happy group of players from the University of Washington with good reason. They came down here, they had a lot of fun, and they won the football game, and that is the name of the game.
Well, you're going to find out that winning a bowl game is exceptionally important. This is the first time Colorado's been to a bowl. You go back to the hotel and people act like you got leprosy and you feel like you shouldn't have been there, and they're starting to check you out of the hotel and pack your bags before you get there, and the other side and partying it up and just having a great time and saying what a great trip it was. But Colorado has an awful lot to be proud of, as does the University of Washington.
This is Weathersby. Tries to turn it upfield, gets the 40-yard line. Colorado's going to be back. There's no question about it. Just looking at their starting defensive alignment, first of all, Kyle Rappold is just a sophomore. Kurt Koch, just a sophomore. Darren Schubeck, the outside linebacker, a junior. Don DeLuzio, we heard so much about tonight, a sophomore. Barry Remington, maybe their most valuable player tonight, is just a junior. Then in the secondary, Solomon Wilcots, the starter, is a junior. Mickey Pruitt is just a sophomore. Rodney Rogers, just a sophomore. Only two seniors on the starting defense, and the same can be said on the offensive side of the ball, too. They're going to be around for a while.
They are, but the University of Washington is also a young football team. I think they'll both, be fine teams in the future. I guess it's time to pick the most exciting player. Now, we haven't really discussed this. We haven't rehearsed it. Just from my point of view, from watching this, great plays on defense. But defensively, it was a total defense. I personally would vote for the young, dynamic, sophomore quarterback Chris Chandler. He gave great leadership. He checked off. He threw the ball. He only had one interception. He ran the option, and his team won. That's where my vote.
All right, Coach. Very good, very good. We agree.
Thank you,
Mr.
Chandler.
Chandler, number 17, the quarterback, has had a fine afternoon, and bad news for his opponents. He's going to be around for another couple of years. He's a third-year sophomore right now. Came into this game having completed 38 of 72 for 428 yards and 3 touchdowns. He can run. That was the word that Don James gave us last night in our discussion with him. And he certainly showed that today.
Well, there's only 56 seconds. Colorado can't stop the clock anymore. It's going down. Washington, I'm sure, is going to take a delay a game, and then they're going to punt the football. I don't imagine they'll try to pooch it or kick it out of bounds. All you tell that punters you got there, son, catch a snap and get it off. I don't care if it goes 5 yards forward. I don't want to hear it go boom, boom, because then that's bad luck. Just get it off. I think personally the main way that Colorado has a chance is if they can rush the punter, if they can get a block punt, and I've seen this happen before.
The first boom is okay. It's only the second boom.
It's boom, boom. You say, now you block till you hear it go boom, then you get downfield. Now if you hear it go boom, boom, you better turn around and tackle the guy because the game's on the line.
So Cleveland will come on now to try to go boom.
Coming with 10.
And they They come after it, and Cleveland gets it away.
That's it.
Got it away pretty well, too.
By the way, you don't need to have one they're going to put in the Hall of Archives or one that looks good. Just get it off, which is what they did.
So 33 seconds left for Colorado. They can't stop the clock. 28-yard punt by Cleveland, but that's not really important. The fact that he got the punt off at all is really what is important.
The one thing about most wishbone teams is they have an awful lot of trick plays. I know Oklahoma always did. They'll run the flea flicker and a variety of different things. Colorado has to pull something out like that without timeouts. You're going to see Washington drop people back. They're going to be in the prevent defense. Some people call it victory, some call it prevent. When I coached the secondary, I called it prevent victory. And we lost a lot of games when we got in.
I've seen the prevent be a present, too. I'll take that.
If he can throw it down, he got it. Oh.
Hatcher put it downfield. He did have a man open. Running a deep post was Marquez.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to run Marquez on a deep post and then bring Lloyd Alexander that has such great speed, about 35 yards across, and hit him, and hope that the corner will follow the postman in. Alexander will catch the ball and turn up the sideline. There's a picture of Don James, who got his first head coaching job at my alma mater, Kent State University, and I want to tell you, he won there. And boy, what a tribute that is. But they're going to have a great program at Kent.
He has won everywhere, Don James.
He's won everywhere. You're absolutely right.
Hatcher will try it again. Throws, and it is almost caught after being tipped.
Just 22 seconds remain in this football game.
Just going to say Erlinson was the man who got a hand on it, number 46 for Washington.
There we happen to see number 46 for Colorado, and I know he's downhearted John Bennett. He's a senior from Houston. Boy, he made some great hits out there. When they ran that sweep, he come up here and really forced it.
So 2 more snaps for Colorado Buffalo. And Hatcher will try it again. Puts it downfield this time. Threw it about 50 yards. Unfortunately, the receiver had only been about 45 yards downfield.
Just slightly overthrown, but we tell our squad this, that the only friends you have in the world when things don't go well are those you eat with, sleep with, bleed with, pray with, and cry with, which comes down basically to your family and your teammates. They put a lot of hard work and effort. I think that they'll find out. They'll wake up 4 days from now. They'll say, hey, we hate to lose, but they're going to go back. They're going to be more determined than ever before to come back and win it. Here's 4th down.
So the last snap here, or hopefully for the Buffaloes, not the last snap. And he is down at the 3-yard line with 9 seconds left, but that will very likely be it.
There'll be time. What Washington's going to do, Washington's going to have to snap the ball now. They're going to have to snap the ball because on exchange, it will not snap till the ball snaps, or the clock won't start till snap.
Tonight's winner of our Pontiac Most Exciting Player Award, voted unanimously by Coach Lou Holtz, Chris Chandler. And Pontiac will donate a $1,000 scholarship in Chris's name to the General Scholarship Fund at the University of Washington. Pontiac, we build excitement. Great afternoon, or evening, I should say, for Chris Chandler, 15 to 26, plus he ran 7 times for another 80-some yards.
You know, 214 yards. I wonder why we had to deliberate, but it's because there are so many great players out on that field today. Time for 1 play.
9 seconds left. They go straight ahead and stop just short of the end zone was Covington. And that's the way it'll end, with the Washington Huskies an impressive 20-17 victor, and they did so despite the fact they had 11 penalties. Played very well on both the offensive and defensive sides. Bill McCartney and Don James congratulating each other at midfield, and both did themselves proud, Lou.
And their teams did themselves proud. The fans did. I personally am very impressed by this bowl. I don't know what the attendance was. They tell me approximately 40,000, but I thought they did an awful lot for the players out here. There's a lot of things to do. It's well organized. I think it has a chance to be a great bowl in the future. Talking to the players, they enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being here.
So the Washington Huskies win it by a 20-17 count, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about this football game from here at Anaheim Stadium right after this commercial word.